Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom to the worldwide family. Peaceful Sabbath, y'all. Y'all know how we do it. We run a little late, so we're going to go ahead and get moving. We turn toward Holy Jerusalem, as recorded in the scriptures. 1 Kings 8 chapter, Daniel chapter 6, verse 10. Y'all, men are to uncover their heads, and women are to cover their heads when praying or prophesying within the assembly. 1 Corinthians 11, Numbers 30th chapter. Also, y'all want the Most High to lift us up today. Yes. And hold us up high in his word, y'all. That's 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 8. So, y'all, with that, we're going to get into the feast of the Most High.
All right, family. We're going to get this opening prayer. And it's with the Most High's permission. And in the name of his only begotten and beloved Son, our Lord and Savior and our Redeemer, our uncrowned King,
yes, sir.
Yahushua HaMashiach. But we know him as Jesus the Christ, y'all. Long live the King.
Long live the King.
Reading in the book of Psalms, in the 82nd chapter, it reads, Yah standeth in the congregation of the mighty. He judgeth among the gods. How long will ye judge unjustly and accept the persons of the wicked? Selah.
Selah.
Defend the poor and fatherless. Do justice to the afflicted and needy. Deliver the poor and needy. Rid them out of the hand of the wicked. They know not, neither they understand. They walk on in darkness. All the foundations of the earth are out of course. I have said, ye are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High. But ye shall die like men and fall like one of the princes. Arise, O Yah, judge the earth, for thou shalt inherit all nations. Hallelujah! Say that! Yes, sir. Boy, that was right there, baby.
Boy, they do it. Perfect with blessing at hand.
All right, all praise to the Most High and his only begotten Son. How everybody doing out there?
Praise.
Wonderful,
all
brother.
praise. So y'all know how we do it. Anybody got any questions, anything on your heart, mind, or soul before we get started on this class?
Got one question in the chat. John Ezra asks, are Joel 2, chapter 2, verses 2 through 11, and Isaiah 5, 26 through 30 related, and do they have anything to do with last week's class? Joel chapter 2.
2 and what?
Joel chapter, they don't have anything to do with last week's class. Joel
2 and 11. 2 through 11.
And Isaiah what?
Isaiah 5, verses 26 through 30.
Well, the Joel 2 for sure. Because that's, when you read verse 1, like I say, always the subject matter is speaking of blow ye the trumpet in Zion. So it's blowing the trumpet before the day of the Lord. So yes, sir, with that one for certain.
You said Isaiah 5,
26 through 30.
26 through 30. I'm going to read that real fast. Man. All right, Isaiah chapter 5, verse 26. He will lift up an enzyme to the nations from far, and will hiss unto them from the end of the earth. And behold, they shall come with speed swiftly. None shall be weary nor stumble among them. None shall slumber nor sleep. Neither shall the girdle of their loins be loose, nor the latchet of their shoes be broken. Whose arrows are sharp and all their bows bent. Their horses' hooves shall be counted like flint, and their wheels like a whirlwind. Their roaring shall be like a lion. They shall roar like young lions. Yeah, they shall roar and lay hold of the prey, and shall carry it away safe, and none shall deliver it.
Yeah, absolutely. When you read, like say, reading that again, that goes into chapter 6, you know. But yeah, once again, those scriptures see, most prophecies are dual. They'll be talking about the time at hand, and then they'll give you a future of what's to come, because the Most High say, I change not, right? Mm-hmm. I'm the same what?
Today.
Yesterday. So the prophecy has to be the same for the last day. And you won't see a change in the last day prophecy ever. By no prophet, it's going to be all the same thing. Earthquakes, darkness, Amos 5:18, what is the day of the Lord for you? We truly have to understand that if you were alive when the second coming happened, there's going to be a time that it said ain't never been like on planet Earth ever. So as bad as the flood of Noah was, it can't compare to these last days. Y'all, what we're talking about again is these nations have nuclear warheads, I should say. Mm-hmm. And if you thought your kingdom was for the end, you would do some things also to say, well, I'm going to go for broke. Mm-hmm. I'm going to let the whole world have it before I go out, y'all. That's what we're dealing with. Chernobyl in Russia was a leak 20 years ago. They said it'll take 20,000 years for a man to be able to walk on that soil again. Animals are starting to come back, but it's a wilderness, y'all. That's from a leak. I want y'all to understand that, a leak. Like you leak a little transmission fluid in the driveway, that's all it took, and man can't go back there no more. Now think about if one just hit the earth and let loose all that radiation. Y'all, we're in some terrible times. So yeah, absolutely, those two verses absolutely go perfect with the class. Definitely 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th witnesses.
And he did say that answer the question.
Yeah.
Praise, is that it? Anybody else?
Other than just still keeping Uriah in the house of Uriah in our prayers, and
yes,
praying for Sister Hannah and I, and you know, we still praying for y'all.
That's right.
Absolutely.
All right, so y'all see the title of the class. It's called A Walk on the Dark Side, the Season of the Witch. And the reason that I named it that is because that's what season we in. You know what I'm saying? With Halloween fastly approaching, the only thing you seeing being marketed now on TV is things pertaining to, you know, witchcraft, you know, sorcery, divination, you know, necromancy and things like that. So, you know, I was talking to a couple of bros at the tabernacle, and we came up with the idea, just like the world, they'll promote feast day. I mean, they folly days, one right after the other. So soon as Christmas done, they immediately promote New Year's. Mm-hmm. Or, you know, when Halloween done, they immediately start promoting, Thanksgiving. So we was like, man, why don't we do the same thing? You know what I'm saying? Because we was on such a high out there at the Feast of Tabernacle that we was like, man, we don't want to come down. Mm-hmm. So we was like, you know what? Let us start getting ready for the Feast of Dedication, which is our next feast. And along the way, you know what I'm saying? We was like, shoot, we'll chop it up about Halloween. We'll chop it up about Thanksgiving, all the while working our way to rededicating our temples back to the Most High.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So what we finna do today is we finna walk on the dark side a little bit, y'all, and we finna get into some things about witchcraft. You know what I'm saying? And how we need to be able to recognize these things when we see them, because in this day and age, our craft is truly prospering. You know what I'm saying? Everywhere you look, every time you turn, social media, no matter what, you starting to see people actually practicing these things. What you got, bro? Man, darker and darker. You know what I'm saying? People are truly turning away from the Most High and picking up, you know what I'm saying, the doctrines of demons and devils. Man, I was at the bookstore the other day, and well, not the other day, but it was a couple months ago. And man, I ran into like 3 or 4 different people at the same day that was picking up tarot cards, and I'm just like, man, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Man, I got my sister was just telling me about how she was playing with tarot cards, and I'm just thinking to myself like, man, craft is truly prospering in this hour. So that's what we're gonna do today, y'all. We're gonna talk about you know, these dark practices, man, and us being the ministers of light. You know what I'm saying? We got to be able to recognize these things because they everywhere, man. In every TV show and every movie, every commercial, is everywhere. So with that being said, man, we're going to start this off in Exodus chapter 22, verse 18.
Trying to desensitize you.
Man, trying to desensitize you, man. This is like, man, I was looking at this YouTube video and they was talking about, this new Disney Channel show. It's I forgot the title of it, but it's about a teenage witch. And that was just, no, not Sabrina, this is a new one. It's an animated one. But that was basically just saying to people who was dissecting the video, they was saying that it was a time where, you know what I'm saying, Satan, you know what I'm saying, he would try and hide himself. But now, I mean, he just blatant with it. He just outright blatant with it. It's no more hiding. He's out in the front. It's just like homosexuality. It used to be a time, man, when I was young, man, that stuff used to be in the closet. Right. That was rare till you heard of stuff like that. But now, in this day and age, it's the norm. And, right. In the dark, they hide, they concealing themselves. Right. But yeah, so man, we starting to see these things really come to the forefront, you know, and they really pushing it little bit by little bit and slowly revealing their agenda. You know what I'm saying? To desensitize us to wickedness. So with that being said, let's get into this.
All right, family, we're going to be reading in the book of Exodus, chapter 22. We'll start the reading in verse 18. If I could get you brothers to uncover. Jeremiah, y'all too, got your heads covered. Thank you very much.
For looking out, bro.
Everybody there?
Yeah.
The book of Exodus, chapter 22 and verse 18. Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live.
Thou shalt not what?
Suffer a witch to live.
That means you shall not allow a witch to live. Who know what a witch is? Can we get that definition? Somebody, the definition of a witch. Yeah. But you know what a witch is, Hebrew? What's a witch? A woman that does what?
Practice magic.
A woman that practices magic. Cause we gotta understand these things, y'all, so we could be able to identify them when we see them. You know, because the witch ain't what you know what I'm saying? It's not, her appearance isn't what you would normally see in a movie or something, man. A witch could be somebody that's sitting right next to you on the bus, or you know what I'm saying, right there with you as a co-worker. A school teacher. A witch could be anybody, but I mean, you will know them by their works.
The first lady.
Right.
Let me read the definition. A woman who practices sorcery or is believed to have dealings with the devil.
Dealings with the who?
The devil.
Right, because the devil was the first sorcerer. He bewitched Eve. He used witchcraft on her.
Yes, he did.
So witchcraft is associated with the devil. It's demonic. That's why when you read scriptures like 1 Samuel 15, the Most High told Saul that rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft.
Yes, sir.
Come on, it got anything else?
Yeah. Number 2, an ugly, vicious old woman.
And look, and they show you this in the movies. Me and Sarah this morning, we were just watching some Disney Channel clips, and they showed one of the wicked Snow White. And the witch, how she was an ugly old woman, always hunched over.
Yeah, big nose.
Big nose.
With warts on it.
Right, I was just gonna say that with warts on it.
Number 3, informer.
Green Edomite.
A green Edomite.
A bewitching young woman or girl.
Of what type of woman?
A bewitching young woman or girl.
And a bewitching, when you give me the word bewitching right quick, somebody, so we can see what bewitching means. Because we gotta understand these words. You gotta understand what he mean when he say a bewitching young woman.
And notice how it went back to now. It said ugly, but now it flipped back
To
it could be beautiful.
Yeah.
Bewitching, bewitch. To place under one's power by magic.
See, a bewitching young lady, this is a woman who uses magic. Come on.
To cast a spell over. To captivate completely.
To captivate completely.
Fascinate, charm.
This is a beautiful woman.
Yeah.
A beautiful boy in Proverbs 5, 6, and 7. A woman who uses her beauty to draw a man in.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put on this I'm gonna put on this dress because I'm gonna give me a man tonight.
Right.
Batting the eyes, making them flutter. That's why they got them caterpillars on their eyes now. That's what they be looking like, caterpillars. Oh,
And look, it's associated with, like he said, witchcraft, which means black magic, sorcery, a magical or irresistible influence, attraction or charm. And Eve saw a tree want to be desired.
Boy. A charmer, an enchanter. That's what he was. She seen him how he was in Ezekiel 28.
eyes looking like she eat flies.
Right.
Oh, boy.
What you got, you bro?
Lloyd Hill Jr. has a question to ask. What is the difference between a witch and a wicked?
And who?
Wicked.
And a wicked.
Same thing.
Yeah.
A witch and a wicked, that's the same thing. A wicked is a witch. It's just a different practice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a different practice of witchcraft.
Wiccans practice, or they worship the elephant season.
Yeah,
they worship the equinox. Yeah, they'll worship spring, fall, and summer. That's a Wiccan.
So you'll get into it like the Celtics, the Norse.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of them, that's what they did, and that's actually what a lot of your these Halloween practices trace back to.
They try to call it white magic.
Yeah, right.
Like it's good or something, but the Most High.
Wicked is wicked.
Exactly.
Go on how you paint it.
Now, while we're in here, because we're a little bit short for time, we'll go ahead and run these to y'all so y'all understand today's class where we're going. Because a lot of people will try to tell you a witch, those practices were allowed in the Bible. They were never allowed in the Bible. There's a difference between magic and a miracle. So I just wanted to read those two definitions real quick so you'll understand that no prophet of the Lord will ever be tied to magic unless the Lord is using him for a purpose.
And look, and when you look up the word magic, that's tied to like the paranormal.
Right.
Paranormal, anytime you hear something about the paranormal, it's never associated with nothing good.
Right.
Like paranormal activity. You don't never hear somebody say, yeah, the Lord came to me and I had a paranormal activity or something like that.
No.
Like, no, that's tied to demonic entity.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, bro.
Magic, the art that purports to control or forecast natural events, effects, or forces by invoking the supernatural.
The what?
Invoking the supernatural.
That's the paranormal. Come on.
The practice of using charms, spells, or rituals to attempt to produce supernatural effects or to control events in nature. The exercise of sleight of hand or conjuring for entertainment. The use of premeditated deception or concealed equipment to produce baffling effects.
So you see that? All of that's condemned in the Bible.
Yeah.
Come on, what you got next?
Now I got miracle. So we look at miracle, an event that appears unexplainable by the laws of nature and so is held to be supernatural in origin or in act of Yah.
An act of who?
Yah.
It's two totally different things. One is done by the power of Satan, the other one is done by the power of the Most High.
Yeah.
And when you see miracles being performed, it's always to make a person whole. You know what I'm saying? Like he healed the blind.
And they give praises to the Elohim.
Always giving praises. Not just with his mouth, but with his deeds.
That's right.
And that's how you will know the difference, man, because you hear a lot of witches out here that say, oh, well, give praises to the Most High.
Witches will say it.
Witches, I mean to say it. Warlocks will, witches will say it. They do this by the power of the Most High. But that's a lie.
They're imitators, so that's who they praise.
Exactly.
He the Most High to them.
Mm-hmm.
Something similar to witches is sorcerers, enchantress, necromancer, Balaam, hex, or Pythonese, or whatever it is.
And look, and all that's in everything he named is all in Deuteronomy the 18th chapter.
That's right.
Forbidding the use of it. Forbidding the use of it. But like I was saying, the difference between magic and witchcraft, see, magic is always always about self-gain. Yes. It's always about sleight of hand.
Yes, sir.
Because a lot of things, I mean, a lot of people you see use these things. They either tricking you or deceiving you,
right?
Or they really dealing with familiar spirit,
right? And
magic and demons and things like that. But let's keep rolling.
And what they do, y'all, they tell you a half truth and a whole lie. The half truth
is to draw you in.
And then they tell you the whole lie like he did her. Did God command you not to? She said, yes, that's the truth of the matter. Mm-hmm. And then he tell her the whole lie. What? He just don't want you to know, girl. Mm-hmm. There's more than life than just serving him. You want to see?
And look, he ain't lying. They show y'all this in the movies. If y'all get a chance, watch that movie Ouija, The Origin of Evil, or the first one, just Ouija. They was playing with a Ouija board. And one of the in both movies, somebody had died. In the first one, the main character, her friend had died. Her best friend had died, and she died from playing with the Ouija board. So she was like, "I want to go and talk to her, at least so I could say goodbye." So they in there, they do the little ritual and everything that you do before you start playing with it. And then they start playing with it, and they was asking the Ouija board questions, and it would answer the questions. But the thing was, it tricked them into believing that it was their friend. And then later on, it revealed to them, this not your friend. It's a demonic spirit that's trying to take hold or trying to possess these individuals.
A snake.
A snake.
But you knew it was a snake when you picked up the guy.
Mm-hmm.
Because people tell you, hey, don't just go with the dark side. Yeah, but it ain't like that.
Right.
It ain't scary. So when you add the other part, okay, then now, I trust I'll play with it now. Wrong thing to do, y'all. Mm-hmm. They're not games. They're not children's games. Mm-hmm. They're magic works of the dark side to get in touch with supernatural darkness. Mm-hmm. And the reason being is the Most High don't let you control his spirit. He'll give it to you when it's deserved, and he'll take it away from you when it's not deserved anymore, and you won't know when it comes or goes. That's what he want to know. That way it keeps it out of your control. Mm-hmm. He'll give it to you when the time is right, and you'll prophesy with his name and his good work, not for your own works.
Mm-hmm. Because if you could control it, most Negroes would try and make a profit off of it.
Yeah, first thing.
That's the first thing they would try and do is make a profit.
Like fun.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Come on, where we at?
We're in the book of Exodus, chapter 22 and verse 19.
No, we could drop that there. I just wanted that one verse. Now we go to Deuteronomy 18. Deuteronomy 18, so we can see the things that the Most High forbid.
Yeah.
And you got to understand, if you don't know what these words are, stop and look them up. Stop and look them up, man, because you got to be able to identify what evil is, because the scriptures tell you to abstain from all appearances of evil.
Right. You see, just be wise as a serpent, but harmless as a dove.
And you can't want something so bad that you'll believe a lie.
Right. Exactly.
Because it's telling you ain't your people, but you want to talk to your people so bad that you go with that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You listen to it, even though you know it ain't your people.
Man.
Want to believe a lie.
Want to believe a lie.
Or dying to be somebody's food.
See? Your own mind
All right, Deuteronomy 18, 9 through 14.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 18 and verse 9. When thou art come into the land which the Most High thy Elohim giveth thee, thou shalt not learn to do after the abominations of those nations.
Learn to do after the what?
The abominations of those nations.
So look, he said, thou shalt not learn. When you look up the word learn, you learn 3 different ways.
Yeah.
You learn by study, you learn by experience, and you learn by being taught.
Yeah.
He telling you don't learn this stuff by experience because look, we got to understand the wiles of the devil.
Yeah.
We got to know these things, so you got to look into them to know what it is to be able to separate good and evil.
That's right.
So he's saying don't learn to do these things. You can't experience this. You can't say you practicing you putting together you using crystals and all type of magic, saying, oh well, that's just learning the wiles of the devil. No, that's not.
I'm learning the
You're right, I'm learning the enemy. You practicing at that point.
Yeah.
That's what you doing.
You're practicing.
Yeah, and look, you got to be able to notice this stuff, man, because it's Israelites that's sneaking in right now with this so-called New Age movement stuff, saying it's all in the Bible, but it's not. They lying. When y'all get a chance, Dan, you did a class a couple months ago called Urim and Thummim, wasn't it? Yeah, that get into that because you got people that'll be like, oh well, this New Age this New Age, that's all in the Bible, but it ain't. They'll start pointing you to things like Urim and Thummim and saying, see, they was playing with crystals. But that class, it'll just clear it up and give y'all better understanding. So in case y'all ever run across something like that,
Right.
out here.
And see, and what it is again, it's a half truth and a whole lie.
lie, mhm.
The half truth, does it mention Urim and Thummim in the Bible? Yes. Is it just like all the other witchcraft? No. That's the whole lie. Because there's no way or no instructions of how to use Urim and Thummim like it is with those crystals and different things. You get instructions for that. The high priest never got instructions to use it, to throw it down like that, other than it was like flipping a coin, heads or tails, but that's no conjuring. That's not conjuring. They were not saying, and Lord raises us. They never done that. They say, this the deal, Urim and Thummim, and they were like dice. You throw them, if it land on 7, then we go to war. If it hits 6, we don't. That's plain and simple, but magic and conjuring is to get in a circle, light candles, roll the dice, and conjure and call on demonic spirits, and then they raise their energy up. That's called raising energy. Ain't nowhere in the Bible the priests were ever taught that. Nowhere. So it's not the same. Is it in the Bible? Yes. But the whole lie is, now I can work my magic on you versus miracle.
Right.
Moses never worked magic. He worked miracles.
All right, so look, you learn 3 different ways, y'all. So the Lord said, learn not to do after the abominations. Y'all know what abominations is?
Fella.
Huh? It's a disgusting thing.
Yes.
It's it's something that's extremely detestable to the Most High.
Yes.
Like homosexuality, like eating unclean foods. Those are detestable things.
Yeah.
That's
a child.
Abominable. It's something that you just should not do, and that's what he explained. These are abominations that these nations was doing, and y'all better not learn them. It better not even be somebody. It better not even be a person found among y'all that do them.
Be in the world, but not of
Other words, right? So you can't come into fellowship with people like this.
It says bring capital punishment charges. That's what abominations are. Whenever you see them and you get caught doing them, it's usually a capital punishment.
And that's why witch was to be put to death. That's why I said don't suffer her to live. The boy drinking blood, all type of wickedness, man.
Exactly, it's treason against
The Most High. Treason, rebellion.
And treason is punishable by death by any nation, by any means. Because that means you're not to be trusted anymore. You can't be trusted. Once treason is performed, you can't be trusted. Everything you do, everything you say is vain. It's worthless. Because the one whom you expressing yourself to is always thinking, is this another edge or angle?
Right.
And to avoid that thought process, they put you to death.
Yeah.
Because you're going to try to conjure up or to try to beguile others to roll with you.
Mm-hmm.
And no nation, no house can stand divided.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Look at Jezebel, man. She was a witch. Boy, she influenced the whole nation almost. The Lord told her, the Lord, and when you read Romans chapter 11, he said, shoot, I still got 7,000 that ain't bowed the knee. But that was amongst the whole nation.
Yeah.
That was amongst the whole nation, man. When Jehu was, when Israel was at war and Jezebel's son and the king of Judah came to Jehu, they asked him, is everything all good? And they was like, nah, not as long as your mother Jezebel whoredoms continue and her witchcraft.
Oh.
See, look, she used witchcraft on Ahab.
Yeah.
To get him to bow down and worship Baal. And then to bring in that worship amongst the whole nation. And man, the whole nation went off, man. She had set up 800 priests of Baal and killed all the prophets of the Most High.
What happened to Solomon?
Or Solomon, that we was just talking about that, wasn't we? And the Testament of Solomon, man, the same thing happened to Solomon. He seen a Jebusite woman, man, that just had it going. You know what I'm saying? A charmer, an enchantress, she bewitched him.
He built palaces and groves for them to worship their pagan deities.
Mm-hmm.
And y'all, and let's understand this from a nationhood perspective first, because when he's talking in the form of a woman, is always because we're his bride. Mm-hmm. We're married to the Most High. So we're his bride. So when it's talking a woman first in spirit, it's talking about the whole nation of Israel. He said, I'm married to y'all, I ain't married to no other nation. And then it starts to dwindle down into your own household. That's why he say don't do it, because it's going to get in your household. And once the practice starts with, you train your woman on this, you through at this point.
Yeah. Boy. Because that's the covenant.
What you got, brother?
You notice he said about the abomination and the grove. We talk about the grove. Do you know that every state has a grove in? We
Yeah.
got one down on the shoulder of Manchester.
Yeah.
Bohemian Grove.
Bohemian Grove. Yes, sir.
Bohemian Grove,
Yeah.
Has a grove in.
And look, Grove is always unnatural affections going on too.
Right.
In the Grove, just like in Tower Grove Park.
You ain't
You
kidding.
may see anything go down in Tower Grove Park. And the Grove right up there on Manchester.
Yeah.
Boy, you just see somebody run by. Who got the butter? Who got the grease? You'll be like, what the hell? Where I'm at?
But you notice this is an exact imitation of the garden.
Yeah.
She is protected with a hedge. And inside are instructions on how to perform and give homage to that which you built this grove for. Well, just like the Garden of Eden was for perfection and righteousness.
Yeah.
And it had a hedge about it. And there were instructions in it on how to keep it holy and righteous, undefiled. So everything Satan does, he does in an exact mirror of what's right. So that it has the appearance of righteousness and soft and serenity and things of this nature, but in it is full of dead men's bones.
Look pretty on the outside.
Look pretty on the outside. You drive through Tower Grove, it looks nice.
Yeah.
It's upkept. Real nice houses lined around it. But what's on the inside of it?
Yeah.
Wickedness.
What's the practice inside of it? Because I remember coming up, it was always known in the hood, boy, don't have your butt over in Tower Grove when the sun goes down.
With the police up there? No, that's the least of your police. No, the police they'll be your friend.
Pagans and herds.
No.
Pagans
Sugarcoated on the outside.
Boy, that's crazy. That's crazy. Let's get it.
Back in Deuteronomy chapter 18, and we're in verse 9. And yes, Brother Yasher, we are taking questions. Verse 10. There shall not be found among you anyone that maketh his son or his daughter To pass through the fire.
To do what?
To pass through the fire.
And you get most people that say this passing through the fire is like abortion or something like that. When you sacrifice your child to Molech, but that's not what this is. The sacrifice of Molech is when you actually planned the pregnancy.
Right.
And when that baby was born, you immediately sacrificed it in the fire.
Yeah.
And our people got into that, man. When you get into like the book of Isaiah, the book of Ezekiel, 1st and 2nd Kings, man, we was being punished for that. Ezekiel 16, man, the Lord straight out came and said, right after he got done calling us hoes, he was like, shit, y'all make my sons and my daughters to pass through the fire? The children y'all born unto me? Y'all make them to pass through the fire?
Yeah.
Look, that's a form of...
Firstborn to the fire.
Exactly. Sacrifice, child sacrificing. Come on.
Or that useth divination.
Y'all understand what divination is? Anybody know what divination is? Raise your hand. That's cool. Let's look up the word divination then so we can get some understanding. Because the scripture say, with all your getting, get what? Understanding. Exactly. They get understanding.
A, B, C,
Like
D,
tarot
E,
cards.
H, I. After H.
Reading and tarot cards.
Google say the practice of seeking knowledge
Yeah.
of the future or unknown by supernatural means.
By supernatural means, and you will see it in the form of like tarot cards. Somebody will go, a medium or the Ouija board, palm street,
The
palm street.
Celtic art of divination.
What kind of art?
The
Celtic art of
Celtic.
divination.
Y'all know the Celtics was tied to the Druids,
Yeah.
who were witches and warlocks.
Yeah, they were the descendants of the Druids.
Then you got like horoscopes,
Yeah.
astrology.
You get the
You know.
Vikings.
And that's the crazy thing, man. When we watching this video clip of just to go to show you how, man, look, this stuff is gonna be without excuse, because look, even if you don't learn it here, Satan not gonna give you an excuse or a cop out. Man, he gonna show you everything that you need to know and then let you make a decision.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But look, I was watching this video clip of Snow White, and it was showing when that when the witch, when she was making the potion to go and poison Snow White, man, she went down and she looked on a bookshelf, and it showed everything that's associated with witchcraft, astrology, black art, divination, potions, spells. All of that. I'm like, dang, boy, look, they showing you everything that you need. They put it right in your face
To draw
Make
you
it
in.
normal to you.
and make it normal to you.
And guess when you usually see it? When you had an argument with somebody.
Oh, yeah.
And see, then you think I can conjure up something and put something over this way, and then my hands are basically clean from it happening to him. Somebody called, Jimmy fell down the step and broke both his ankles?
Yeah.
You like, what? Yeah. Did he, girl? Yeah, it works. Yeah, so I sure put that spell on him. I say he won't be able to win a electric slide contest again. I'll fix it.
You better watch how you talk to me for you be next.
Right.
Right. But no, it's true, man. What? Look, I was following a girl on Facebook one time, man, and she was doing that, bro. She was telling, like, I just did this spell. She was saying she wrote her name down, she put it on a candle, and you had to make sure it was just right, or else it wouldn't work. And then you had to light the candle, let the candle go all the way out and burn the name up. And I'm just like, man.
See, but that's instructions. It's not happenstance. You understand what I'm saying? She's reading instruction.
Man,
see, that's the name of the devil. Not to cut you off. This is what we want to get understood. When the Most High say they have my name, it's more than just saying Yahweh or Yeshua. Right. The name means the instruction. The instructions in the book tell us what to do. Thou shalt not do this, or thou shalt do that. That's his name. Those are his instructions. But the instructions he's just naming, putting a candle there and put a name on a piece of paper, that can't be found in the Bible for righteousness.
Not at all. Not at all.
That's to attack your neighbor supernaturally.
All right, where we at?
Verse 10, continue. Or an observer of time.
An observer of time. They usually refer to them as like a augury or the practice of the augury or something like that. But it was to take certain signs that you would see maybe in like nature or something, and then you would interpret it. Yeah, like an oracle. You know what I'm saying? Like an oracle or something like that. But in ancient Rome, I'm finna get to you. In ancient Rome, they described it as, you know what I'm saying, like the way in which the birds would move.
Right.
They would interpret that as a sign of for either good or for bad. You get what I'm saying? What you got, Mike?
Yeah.
What, an observable time? Yeah, it could be. Yeah, when you look up the definition, it's tied into all of that. All of these are really intertwined.
Right.
Astrologer, horoscopes, or you know what I'm saying. Even when you, all of that.
Look, y'all, and the main thing to it, when they do those things, they use, you can know because they use wicked parts. To look into the future, they look at guts, entrails. They'll cut something open and they'll look at the guts of it and say, right here on the intestine after 2 feet, this means this gonna happen. Y'all, at that point, you know it's witchcraft. They got to, because they know up here you'll believe anything.
Yeah, that's what they were doing in that movie Exodus, that new movie Exodus, where they cut the back end of a swan and pulled out some piece of the flesh. And witch from Pharaoh's witch to try to determine a point in time in which the Messiah or Moses was supposed to deliver the Israelites.
Now, a lot of them will say, well, in the book of Tobit, they took the entrails of a fish and they did this, but it's to drive a demon away. That practice is to bring the demon to you, to explain some things. It's two different things. One gets rid of one and one brings one to you. He's saying these things bring demonic spirits to you. You need to get them away from you. What I'm going to tell you to do drives them away. You won't have the problem, because when you're using them, the demons is already attacking. And you're saying, I need to get rid of them. Notice magic or witchcraft, it don't get rid of anything. It just satisfies your curiosity of what's calling it. And guess what? It's lifelong. It's just like a prescription from a doctor. You got to come back, but make sure you have $40 with you, and I'll tell you who else on your trail. You don't get that from the Most High. He visits you in a dream. He say, watch your back. They're coming for you tomorrow. At this time, at this hour, at this minute. That's what he do. He warns you, but not witchcraft. Witchcraft holds you in bondage. And I have you paying, boy, believing there's some fat boy that you know. Won't tell you his name, just some fat boy. Now, every fat boy you know is on your hit list.
And look, and
could be Fat Tyrone at the tire shop.
And look, a good example of what he's talking about, if you ever seen The Wizard of Oz, when Dorothy, when she ran into Professor Marvel, man, he was running game on her so bad, boy. He was like, but he wasn't asking for no money or nothing. But it was just showing you how, man, these people that be practicing this stuff are full of it. You know what I'm saying, man? He not knowing nothing, man. He just guessing that stuff.
Yeah, he guess.
Why you run away? Don't tell me, let me guess. And he'll run off 3 or 4 guesses before he finally gets something that let him know why she ran away. And man, it's just ridiculous, man. Or if you ever seen that movie Ghost, with Whoopi Goldberg, man, she was, boy, look, even though it was telling you true stuff, it was still showing you, man, how it's a mockery, how it's funny, You know what I'm saying, man? You giving them all the information that they need, and from there, they just telling you what you just told them, That's it.
Right, they don't reveal nothing to you. You end up telling. They be like, somebody's birthday in June. Starts with a W. Is there a Willie? No.
Not a Willie.
I'm seeing a B. You know, Bill is short for William. Is it a Bill? Yeah, that's him. My Uncle Billy, right there, Uncle Billy. You answer for him and then pay him. Ain't that crazy? Why would you just keep that money in your pocket? If you think it's Uncle Billy, go ask Uncle Billy. You the one using my Social Security number.
Boy, straight up. Man, straight up. Some of the stuff just be outright ridiculous, man. Outright ridiculous. What you got here, bro?
Yehuda asked, did King Saul speak with a dead Samuel or a familiar spirit?
Yeah, we gonna get into that. Yeah, we going there.
Hey, I told him, say a message is blocking the view. Do you see that?
Okay. I'll take it down.
Yeah, we gonna get into that. To that 1 Samuel 28. Yeah, we gonna
go ahead, bro.
All right, where we at?
They're back in verse 10 again. Or an enchanter.
And an enchanter is just one who used spells, bewitched people. You know what I'm saying? Things of those sort. If you ever seen the movie, the Disney movie Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah. You've seen all the Disney.
Man, I
But look, that's how young they start. Look, that's how young they
they start.
They
Yeah.
have to start with the children.
But look, the thing is, shoot, as I'm doing,
They have drawings.
Say you doing research.
Sexual organs.
In the background of Walt Disney.
man, Walt Disney, man, wicked as I don't know what,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
As we were sitting here doing this, putting together this class, me and the brothers that was putting it together with me, man, we going through and we watching videos and we like, man, that's crazy. Because it's right there in your face. It just be right there in your face, man. But if you ever get a chance and watch the beginning of that Beauty and the Beast, and it show you how he became a beast, it was an enchantress that came to him as an ugly old witch. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, tried to do something, get in the castle or something and spend the night or something like that. But he told her nah. And then she changed herself into a beautiful enchantress and she put a curse on him.
Yeah.
And that's what an enchantress is. Is a male or a woman who uses magic or cast spells.
Get Out, the movie Get Out.
Get Out, boy.
That's the main thing where rattle that cup and you go into like a mule state. You ain't good for nothing but work at this point. They run you like a mule at this point. Take your mind away and you become a beast of burden.
Yep. What you got, bro?
Eve Ariashi Trucking asks, how can we keep the holy days if we don't have anyone to keep them with?
You got to keep them, you got the Most High to keep them with.
That's right.
Because they're spiritual first. So that's what we got to understand. The kingdom is not of meat and drinks, you know, unless, you know, somebody get left out. He said you have homes for that technically. So first, you got to keep it spiritually. You got to feast with the Lord spiritually. You got to get his word and enjoy it. And you can do that because there's instructions with every feast day. You know, you can always, I know it gets a little rough when there's no assembly around, but this thing covers everything, the order of Melchizedek, the high priesthood that Christ is under. Male, female, rich, poor, free, or bond. If you locked up, you got to do it by yourself, don't you? If you're homeless, who you going to do it with? There's no way out of doing the commandments. So if you don't have money to perform physically, you can always do a feast day mentally up here. And most of them going to be instructions first before you eat. And if it tells you, you got to have this, then you know you don't know how, you ain't got no lamb for the Passover, then Christ is your lamb. If you can't afford that, but then you got to have unleavened bread, which is simply flour and water. That's unleavened bread, no additives. And that's what they'll even give you in jail, bread and water. That's the basics they give you. So a lot of this is based upon that, y'all, because the Most High knows is that the only thing that you need to sustain life is bread and water. Everything else, y'all, is a plus or added to us.
All right, where we at?
Verse 11. Or a charmer, or a consulter with familiar spirits, or a wizard, or a necromancer.
And a necromancer is one who conjured up the dead, who communicated with the dead. And a familiar spirit was always like some type of demonic spirit that would usually promote somebody. You know what I'm saying? To where you can start making some type of money or something, or you would be elevated to like, to almost like some great one in the eyes of the people. Yeah, some type of prestigious status. Come on.
Look, he's been around a while too, a familiar spirit. That's why they have a name. Their name will be Beelzebub. And these things go generations and thousands of years. The name of them, they're a familiar spirit because when they come off of, after the flood, those were the spirits that was left over from the giants, according to Enoch 15th chapter. So those are familiar spirits. They remember everything from the flood up to now. So they'll take you back to old witchcraft, which you think like you're saying, you're doing New Age movement. All you doing is old age getting off the ark. Witchcraft of Satan. Either you gonna serve the Lord or you gonna serve Satan. Ain't no head above the serpent. Ain't nothing above Satan. No new doctrine about witchcraft. All of it comes from him. He's the father of it. Didn't it say at the beginning of it? He's the father of lies and murder.
That's right.
He's the father of it. Y'all have to understand that means he has treason. Understand the difference. He wants to be the father, not the Messiah. He told Christ, bow to me. I want to be your dad. So we got to understand when he played, ain't nobody above him. No spirit tempted Satan to round up a third of our angels to take on the war in heaven. Nothing tempted Satan. It was pride that comes from within you. When you think your doo-doo don't stink no more. Mm-hmm. And that pride leap out of you, but that's within you. And you can't humble down no more. Boy, have we got out this Deuteronomy yet?
No, bro, we got three more verses.
Okay.
Verse 12.
Yeah.
It was only 5.
I know. Verse 12. For all that do these things are an abomination unto the Most High. Mm-hmm. And because of these abominations, the Most High thy Elohim doth drive them out from before thee. Mm-hmm. Thou shalt be perfect with thy Most High thy Elohim. Mm-hmm. For these nations which thou shalt possess hearkened unto observers of times and unto diviners. But as for thee, the Most High thy Elohim hath not suffered thee so to do.
Oh, crazy. So you see that the Most High ain't allowed. And look, understand, we was going into the land of Canaan. These was people that was blacker than you and me.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So it really ain't no color thing because the white man took it and he started using it.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's never a color thing, man. It's always spiritual. All right, with that being said, we're going to Leviticus 19 and 26. Leviticus 19, 26, then 31.
Just hitting this one.
Yeah, and then we're going to jump down to 31.
Okay.
Verse 31.
Yeah. Leviticus chapter 19, verse 26. How we looking? You good? Leviticus 19, verse 26. Ye shall not eat anything with the blood, neither shall ye use enchantment, nor observe time.
Same thing. Come on, verse 31.
Verse 31. Regard not them that have familiar spirits.
Don't do what?
Regard not them that have familiar spirits.
So don't even pay no attention to them. Come on.
Neither seek after wisdom.
Don't seek after no wizard. Come on.
To be defiled
To
by
be
them.
what?
Defiled by them.
That means to become unclean.
Yeah.
That means to become unclean to the Most High. Come on.
I am the Lord your God.
So not only if you practicing these things, but if you going and you seeking after them. Oh, let me go find me a fortune teller to read me my fortune. Or let me play with this Ouija board so I can talk to my, you know what I'm saying, my dead relative.
Uh-oh.
You ain't supposed to be doing these things, man, because therefore it makes you an abomination to the Most High as well.
Can we get verse 27, 28, because they go off into like necromancy.
Yeah, we could do that.
27, 28.
Yeah, 27, 28, yeah.
Verse 27. Ye shall not round the corners of your heads, neither shalt thou mar the corners of thy beard. Ye shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead, nor print any marks upon you. I am the Lord.
I'm talking about tattoos and just, commemorating the dead. And now that I think about it, you know what? One of these movements that's gaining steam is this ancestor worship.
Yeah.
Talking to the ancestors, man, that's the same thing, man. Necromancy.
Yeah.
Praying to your dead ancestors, setting up altars and things like that to the dead ancestors. That's the same thing, y'all. Necromancy. That falls under the umbrella of necromancy, trying to contact the dead.
Right.
But now we're gonna hit Leviticus 20.
So that ain't talking about cutting off your hair.
No.
Nah.
See, rounding the corners of your head, what we're talking about is fastening your heads like what they were calling the gods or the demons. That's basically what it was. If you look up ancient Egyptology, they used to round the corner. They used to keep rolling their head like this, and then their head would get elongated, just like those demons that they were mocked. And they used to have them long heads like that. That was rounding the corners or mar the beards. And what it's talking about, marring the corner of your beard, so says, you cut your beard off and mar it to the point that where it can't grow hair anymore. That's what mar means, to completely destroy the hair follicles. You can't mar your beard so your hair don't grow back out naturally. Like some young men, you know, if they growing a beard in the 2nd grade or got a full beard, their mama go take them to get their beard, get their face waxed. We had a partner like that in the 8th grade. We thought he was a substitute teacher. What?
He's probably getting all the bugs.
And his mom used to have to take him to go get his face waxed. I'm talking about he wasn't even in high school. I mean, he was, man, he'd have been like Ezra at the 8th grade graduation. So that's what it means to completely destroy or keloid over. If you ever know you get a keloid or anything on your scalp, hair never grows back there ever again. But that's from being marred, completely destroyed. So it's not talking about you cut your beard off, your beard grow right back. Boy.
Now, the most I marred at the top of my head.
Yeah, they say you don't know it.
All right, we're going to Leviticus chapter 20 next, y'all. Leviticus chapter 20, we're going to hit verse 6, and then we're going to jump down to verse 27.
Leviticus chapter 20, verse 6.
Uh-huh.
Next chapter, y'all. And the soul that turneth after such as have familiar spirits and after wizards, to go a-whoring after them, I will even set my face against that soul, and will cut him off from among his people.
So you see that it's clear-cut instructions for those that's doing it and for those that's seeking those that's doing it. If you're doing it, you're going to die, and if you're seeking after them, you're going to die. Come on.
Well, I'm going down to
27, yeah, jump to 27, yeah.
Going down to verse 27, y'all. A man also or woman that hath a familiar spirit.
That what?
That hath a familiar spirit.
Come on.
Or that is a wizard shall surely be put to death. They shall stone them with stones. Their blood should be upon them.
Shalom. So, okay, I just wanted to show y'all that instructions. Now we finna get into some stories. The first story we're gonna get into is King Saul. When he went to what, you know, people call a witch of Endor. So we're gonna get into that. 1 Samuel chapter 28. We're gonna read pretty much the whole story. We was actually reading this at Uriah's house last night and came to some good understanding.
First Samuel.
Yeah, 1 Samuel 28. Yeah, 1 Samuel 28.
It's right next to 2 Samuel.
How you doing?
Yeah,
Right over there by that.
Say it ain't so.
I think we'll do the whole thing. So you doing the whole thing, right?
Yeah, we do. We do.
But well, it's on you, Aki. Yup.
Damn red too.
Man, we got one line is going on over there. You know what I'm saying? It'll be quick. It's gonna be
Where it
you know.
You say
Let's
what?
get it, y'all.
It's on I say the one line is it'll get back to you before you know.
Leviticus. Look at me. I'm on there. Why Leviticus really come out of my mouth? 1 Samuel chapter 28, verse 1.
Y'all good out there, mister? Y'all need some help? Okay.
All right.
And it came to pass in those days that the Philistines gathered their armies together for warfare to fight for Israel. And Achish said unto David, Know thou assuredly that thou shalt go out with me to battle, and thou and thy men. And David said to Achish, Surely thou shalt know what thy servant can do. And Achish said to David, Therefore will I make thee keeper of mine head forever. Now Samuel was dead, and all Israel had lamented him, and buried him in Ramah, even his own city. And Saul had put away those that had familiar spirits.
That had what?
Familiar spirits.
Uh-huh.
And wizards, out of the land.
So look, when he first got into his kingship, Saul was doing the right thing. He did what the law said. It shall be, none of these shall be found among you. So he put away those that dealt with familiar spirits and wizards. Let's keep rolling.
Verse 4. And the Philistines gathered themselves together and came to pitch in Shunem. And Saul gathered all Israel together, and they pitched in Gilboa. And when Saul saw the host of the Philistines, he was afraid.
He was what?
He was afraid. And his heart greatly trembled. And when Saul inquired of the Most High answered him not, neither by dreams, nor by Urim, nor by prophet.
Right, because at this point, the Most High had cut Saul off for what he did in 1 Samuel 15. When the Lord told him to go wipe out all of the Amalekites, ain't that how you pronounce it? The Amalekites. And he gave them specific instructions. He said, utterly kill everything, man, child, woman, for what they did to the children of Israel in the wilderness when they laid wait for them. Right. So he told them to kill man, woman, infant, beast, kill it all. Right? I mean, kill it all. But Saul, doing what he wanted to do, he killed everybody but the king, and then they also brought the sheep back to sacrifice it to the Most High. What you gonna sacrifice something that the Most High said put to death for? He don't want that. That's rejected. So the Most High, Samuel told him, man, the Most High took the kingship from you and gonna give it to somebody else. He said, obedience is better than sacrifice, and rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft. And from that day forth, the Most High stopped dealing with Saul. He sent Samuel to go anoint David to be king. And then Saul started trying to kill David.
That's right.
So at this point now, he's seeing the army of the Philistines, and they so numerous that it put fear in his heart. So now he's trying to go and he's trying to seek counsel from the Most High to let him know how the battle's gonna go. Because that's what they did in war. When war rose, you always see our people will go and holler at the Most High, should we go to war? Or we gonna win this war if we go through with it, or should we just not go through with it? So that's what he's trying to do. And he said the Most High didn't answer him by dreams or prophets or Urim and Thummim. And this is how the Most High communicate with you.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's all instructions on these things. I mean, with the prophets, they got instructions on dreaming dreams and visions. That has instructions. And with using Urim and Thummim, that even had instructions. It's not you make it up as you go, or you go into another book and you get the instructions on it. The Most High gave us all the instructions that we need in order to to effectively communicate with him.
And there's always only been those three means of communication. He never said worship me through crystals. He never said worship me through familiar spirits. He never taught us what he said was an abomination. It was these three. The common man, we never would have knew what Urim and Thummim was, because only the high priest could mess with that. And that was only the house of Aaron, so you can't say it's for common men. And the only other way was through dreams, or a prophet would come and tell you, the Lord said 2 o'clock, this what's going to happen. Those were the only forms of communication. Anybody else say tarot card was used, they a liar. If they say a Ouija board was used, they a liar.
And a deceiver.
And a deceiver. A crystal ball is not like Urim and Thummim, nor is it dreams and prophets. It's not. Now you got false prophets, and you got what's called nightmares, which is a bad dream that have you waking up kicking covers up to the ceiling fan. But that's not how the Most High communicate with you, because his laws are fashioned in your dreams. You know what you're doing in your dream. You just wake up and hope it was a dream. Why you hope it was a dream? Because you know it was abomination what you was doing. Man, I hope that was a dream. What was a dream? I can't tell you.
Right.
Sure, I can't tell you that. I have to leave town if I tell you my dream. And know what else you say?
Can't get it out your head.
It was so real. Yeah, it was real. But you can't see it in your sleep either.
Right. What you got, Tuba?
Yeshua Yehuda wants to know, can you please explain what Urim and Thummim is?
It's like I said, you got a class on that, right? Yeah, it's a class out there that you could watch. It's called Urim and Thummim. But
all the priests used to do was they had a breastplate on.
Breastplate of judgment. It was used mainly for judgment.
Yeah, it was like dice almost.
Yeah, like
casting lots.
Like what was that story with the two heifers? You know what I'm saying? He told the priest to cast lot and see which one was gonna be for a scapegoat and which one was gonna be for a sacrifice.
Yeah.
It was just really Urim and Thummim was to make decisions.
Or what was called a roll of the dice.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it was, but the high priest was the only one could do it. Just like the high priest was the only one could go around the holies of holies.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the Levites was the only ones could touch the Ark of the Covenant. It was only him. It's one thing they saying the Bible did this, and there are high priests of Israel traced back to Aaron and his sons. If you got that, then let's see that. But don't mix this with another doctrine.
I mean,
they say frog legs taste like chicken.
Right.
Is it chicken though?
Right. And like you were saying, but even if you can trace your lineage back to Aaron, man, we not even under that priesthood no more.
Under that no more.
You know, we under the order of Melchizedek now with a new high priest. So, I mean, despite all of that, man, we ain't supposed to be using none of that.
So you can't even use it today because it's a different priesthood.
Right, different priesthood, man. We got other ways to communicate with the Most High now.
Yeah.
The Holy Spirit. So, with that being said, where we at? These two, man.
She'll read you in verse 7.
Verse 7. Then said Saul unto his servants, seek me a woman that had familiar spirit.
Do what?
Seek me a woman that had familiar spirit.
So look, didn't the law just tell us don't seek after these things?
Yes, sir.
And what he doing? He's seeking. Because Saul at a point now to where he's desperate.
Yeah.
He don't know what to do, so the only thing he can do now is do wickedness.
Seeking what he cast out.
Right, seeking what you cast out. You see how you see how you return to your vomit?
Oh.
How did he return to his vomit?
Wallowing in the mines.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, he's slipping fast.
Slipping fast, man. Come on.
Seek me a woman that had familiar spirit, that I may go to her.
That I might what?
Go to her.
Come on.
And inquire of her. And his servant said unto him, behold, there is a woman that had familiar spirit at Endor. And Saul disguised himself.
He did what?
He disguised himself.
So he had to hide himself. He had to go and he had to sneak.
Right.
Look, because he already knew it was wrong.
Yes, sir.
He already knew it was wrong.
He cast him out of the land.
Exactly.
He done put on some shades and a fake mustache.
Right.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Right. Some shades and a mustache, and now he finna go seek him a familiar spirit.
Yeah.
Right. Come on.
And Saul disguised himself and put on other
Raiment. So right, he took off his kingly garment.
Yeah.
And he put on, you know what I'm saying, just some normal, regular people clothes. And now he finna go to this witch of Endor to inquire of her. Come on.
And he went, and 2 men with him. And they came to the woman by night. And he said, I pray thee, divine unto me by familiar spirit, and bring me him up whom I shall name.
So you see that, look, they always doing stuff at night.
Yeah.
Always doing stuff at night.
Right. Sneaking at night.
Just sneaking around, almost like Nicodemus was sneaking around at night.
So the freaks come out at night.
Yeah, that's right. What's out at night area?
Freaks come out at night.
Right.
That's right.
And that's just always when wickedness is done is at night. So can't nobody see.
Abnormal.
Right.
Right. That's what freaks is.
Yeah.
Ugly abnormal.
But y'all see this though? Come on.
And the woman said unto him, behold, thou knowest what Saul has done. How he has cut off those that had familiar spirit and wizards out of the land. Wherefore then layest thou a snare for my life to cause me to die.
So look, she asking him that question. What you trying to trap? I mean, you trying to trap me up or something?
That's right.
But look, she even know that what she doing is wrong. Because she know the penalty for it is death, but she's still doing it though. Look, that's what I mean when I say it'll be no excuse. She knows she doing wrong, just like Saul know he doing wrong. Come on.
And Saul swore to her by the Lord, saying, as the Most High liveth, there shall no punishment happen to thee for this thing.
And now look at him, man. He digging himself a bigger grave. He telling her the punishment of the Lord ain't gonna come down on you. That's just, man, Saul at this point is in full darkness. Shalom, Imam.
Making promises he came back.
Right, promises you can't keep. Right, you good. We gonna give you a pass this time. Okay. And then sworn by the Most High. Swore by the Most High, come on.
Then said the woman, whom shall I bring up unto thee? And he said, bring me up Samuel.
Bring me up who?
Samuel.
And look, understand, this witch her door, she didn't even know who Samuel was. She don't even know who Saul is. Come on.
That's right, because she said Saul has put everybody out.
Yeah, Saul has put everybody. She didn't know who Samuel was. She didn't know who he was at all. Come on.
And when the woman saw Samuel, she cried with a loud voice.
She did what?
Cried with a loud voice.
She almost like Whoopi Goldberg did in the movie Ghost. Yeah. She started screaming because when you understand, man, she's saying Samuel and he approved.
Now look, Ezra had to only go that octave. He couldn't go past 3. He couldn't go past 3. He had to keep it as far as a man can get it out. At level 3. That way to say, if he'd have sounded like the boy from I Call Your Name. Switch. No, he couldn't go way up there. Couldn't switch it up that high. But go ahead.
But no, it was just like in the movie Ghost when she seen him, because she seen Samuel and he came, and she said he appeared as a god. I see a god.
Yeah.
And then that's when she, keep reading, because he gonna tell her something.
Yeah.
The story.
Right.
And when the woman saw Samuel, she cried with a loud voice. And the woman spake to Saul, saying, why hast thou deceived me? For thou art Saul.
For thou art who?
Saul.
So look, when you understand, when she seen Samuel, Samuel told her that was Saul that came to her disguised.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's why she's saying after she seen this, hold on, wait a minute. You Saul.
Yeah.
Why you didn't trick me? Come on.
And the king said unto her, be not afraid, for what sawest thou? And the woman said unto Saul,
Hold it down, y'all.
I saw gods ascending out of the earth.
Right. She saw him ascending out of earth. Didn't you say that was like almost what Jacob seen?
That's exactly what Jacob said. But let her read the rest of that. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
And he said unto her, what form is he of? And she said, an old man cometh up, and he is covered with a mantle. And Saul perceived that it was Samuel.
So not to cut you off, but what's happening here is it's not regular witchcraft that she's used to. That's why she screamed out, and said, this not regular work. I ain't used to this. And he said, what you said? She like, look, I see gods ascending up and down earth. So in Jacob's vision of the ladder, he saw gods ascending and descending. But these are angels coming back and forth. When you get into witchcraft so deep and you're doing something, the Most High will give you what you asking for. And what Samuel is really doing, she didn't wake him up, no familiar spirits woke him up. She said, I see power coming from up there. And that's all they was doing, was resurrecting, so to speak, Samuel to prophesy against Saul. So a lot of people ain't that, no. Because the dark side couldn't do the power of God.
That's right.
She couldn't do it. It's just like Whoopi Goldberg in that movie Ghost. Remember, she said, I was playing around. But when she heard the real voice, she started running and was crazy. And her sisters went crazy too. She said, this ain't what I'm used to getting the hustle game from. So remember, Satan is an imitator. A familiar spirit would have came back trying to be Samuel. But notice this, y'all. Ain't nobody ever come back under this sun, walk on this earth that was dead before more than 72 hours. Nobody. They're not going to bring your grandmama back. They're not going to do anything. They can't come back under this sun. Lazarus was resurrected after 4 days for a reason. So you would know resurrection is real. But he wasn't resurrected on the 3rd day because that was for the Messiah. It was 4 days that he stinketh in the grave.
That's right.
And it let you know the reincarnation don't exist either, because that was the same Lazarus, wasn't it?
Yes.
Wasn't a different man they unwound in them clothes.
Everybody knew who he was.
Everybody knew who it was, and the Pharisees wanted to put him back to death again. So y'all, we have to understand, Satan, familiar spirits try to copycat when you see angels ascending and descending. And the only time you're going to see that is when the Most High is visiting you. And it's called, a lot of people call it the stairway to heaven. That's what it is, when that portal open up. But Satan don't have a portal that goes up. He don't even have a portal that go down. The familiar spirits are just around. They can't die. They just remember all the way back to the flood. They can remember things. So they'll whisper things in your ear. You're not that individual. You know, he used to do this. I'm going to say this real quick, like the boys out of New York talking about that one dude that had a drinking problem was King David reincarnated. Now, he shot his Webster on steroids. And they say David was handsome and comely.
Webster shorter than a midget, ain't it?
Boy, look here. And they say he was looking like, you know, like he was a terrified victim in the face. You know, being frightened to death. And call nobody ugly, but they say something made him look that way. I don't know if it's how he looked after a stiff drink or what. But it wasn't David. And neither did he can describe what Bathsheba looked like. Like in the book of Josephus say, she made Halle Berry look like somebody else. Bathsheba was so fine.
She's gonna do like,
boy, look here. No, way beyond that. So what I'm talking about is familiar spirits can only whisper what happened, but they can't make you see that individual. Only the Most High have power like that. They can't do it. That's why she was disturbed at this, but we get some more.
As a witness to all, the Messiah himself came back as himself.
As himself. He didn't come back and nobody else did.
So convincing.
He said, touch me right here. And that's where they stabbed me at.
Now Thomas like, look, hey, check me out. Here, put your hand in my side. Feel my hand.
No, I'm good. Yeah, no, I'm good. But look, Revelation 6 and 9 say the same thing. I saw the souls under the altar that woke up for just a brief period. Palms and white robes was given to them and they were put back to sleep, but they're on the third level of heaven of paradise. When you die, you just can't come back on this earth. It don't mean you non-existent anymore. There's a level called paradise, and that's for the righteous soul, but they're not walking around up there fixing food and stuff. They're asleep, waiting on judgment day. And then there's the torment side that Luke 16 speak of, that the rich man went to and is being tormented. He still ain't in judgment yet. He's just being tormented for being wicked. Then he get judged to go to the lake of fire. But he asked, go back and tell Father Abraham, or my brother, that don't come to this place. They say, no, they got the law and the prophets. That'll tell them. But he can't go back. You can't go back there. So understand that, y'all, when we're talking about an individual coming up on the earth, she saw Samuel in a vision and he prophesied to her. That happens, y'all. But that's not necromancy or dealing with familiar spirits.
Right.
Familiar spirits don't have the truth of the Most High. They there to entertain you, give you a little bit of what went on 500 years, but that's all you get because they need you to keep coming back to them. I'm not going to give you all of this. You want some more? I'll tell you who you was 2,000 years ago. You was Cleophas Johnson. That's why you like to wear those shoes Cleophas wore them, and now you thinking that I used to live 2,000 years ago. Go ahead, brother.
You know how the spirits move in the cycle, right?
Yeah.
So, like the Messiah, when you enter the spiritual war, you choose to side.
Yeah.
You know your name, especially if you go hard in the spirit.
Absolutely.
They'll come see about you.
Boy, look
you shaking the kingdom of heaven up with your prayers and you going home.
Yeah.
Come see about you.
He send a familiar spirit too. Yes, sir.
I wanted to also mention that Aladdin was Saul.
Who?
Aladdin.
The cartoon Aladdin.
Oh, yeah. Going in the genie hood.
How Solomon was conjuring up the spirits, telling them who these brings.
And the Muslim call it a jinn, G-I-N, not gin you drink, but a genie. It's short for genie. Right. That's the same as the familiar spirit, but notice what they had to do. They had to read this thing and chant, and then it pops out. You have to bring them on here. They cannot come up unless you bring them up. The Holy Spirit is not like that because you don't know when you receive it and you don't know when it leaves. It comes over you when you need it to express God's power, like it did Samson when they sent 10,000 at him and he just picked up a jawbone of an ass and went to work, was denting helmets and bunches of stuff like this with just a jawbone of an ass and went to work. And when they looked up, they slayed everywhere.
But you know what the book of Acts will tell you, the Holy Spirit, you know what I'm saying, in this room, you get the tongue.
Yeah, you get those gifts. Yeah, there's 9 gifts that just list there. Many more, but these are the fruits of the Spirit. But that's all we're talking about. Saul he said the Most High is not listening to me anymore because I disobeyed him. But this the mindset of Saul when you go crazy, when you quit listening to the Most High.
That's right.
He went to the devil to call the Lord. I want y'all to think about this. You go to the devil to call God.
Right.
What about Enoch? And them things just hanging upside down.
Boy, look here, same way.
Could you tell them have mercy on the field where it's hanging upside down?
He like, no, y'all should have did what I thought
Y'all was just up there with him, but
Yeah. So y'all have to understand when the Most High left him, he was in turmoil. He didn't know what to do because he then saw the Philistine. See, so when that fear jump on you, the Most High don't put fear on you. That's how you know his soul was in torments at that point because you done seen what the Lord do. You seen what he did to David. You was right there. You told David, you can wear my armor. He always was scary.
Yeah.
They only chose him because he was taller than everybody else. But he didn't have a heart for war.
Always had Kool-Aid in his water.
Oh, but what you saying, Elisha?
Kool-Aid.
Short of sugar. Yeah. Yeah.
it was flavorless.
Yeah. No.
All right, where we at?
The rest of verse 14. And he stooped with his face to the ground and bowed himself. And Samuel said to Saul, why hast thou disquieted me to bring me up? And Saul answered, I am sore distressed, for the Philistines make war against me, and Yahweh is departed from me, and answereth me no more, neither by prophet nor by dream. Therefore have I called thee, that thou mayest make known unto me what I shall do.
Now, notice the instructions of this man.
Right.
You know the communication line. He said by prophets or dreams. He said he's not answering me through his regular phone line. So you go to
The back door.
the back door phone line. You stick the red phone of the devil to make contact. It's like the operator say, yeah, there's a call coming in from Satan. Hello, yeah, I got one of your boys on the line. Want to speak to you. Hold on, Saul. And the devil will give him the phone just like that. Because Satan is able, he's the accuser of man, right? So he can go and tell him, I got your boy on the line right now.
Yeah. Just like he went before the Most High in Job 1.
Yeah.
Right. Hey, I got your boy on the line right here. You want to holler at him?
Yeah.
And the Most High looking at the phone like, no, this.
No, he ain't.
No, he didn't. I didn't swipe left 3 times.
Right.
And he calling me on the devil's phone.
On the devil's phone.
He tripping. Let's see what Samuel say to him though.
Yeah.
Verse 16. Then said Samuel, wherefore then dost thou ask of me?
So he asking him, well, the Most High ain't answering you. What you coming and looking for me for?
Yeah.
Right. What sense do that make? Come on.
Seeing the Most High has departed from thee and has become thine enemy. And the Most High hath done, and the Most High hath done to him as he spake by me. For the Most High hath rent the kingdom out of thine hand, and given it to thy neighbor, even to David, because thou obeyest not the voice of the Most High, nor executest his fierce wrath upon Amalek. Therefore has the Most High done this thing unto thee this day. Moreover, the Most High will also deliver Israel with thee unto the hand of the Philistines. And tomorrow shalt thou and thy sons be with me.
So look, he got what he was looking for.
Yeah.
Because that was the whole point of him going, because he wanted to see, should he go to war with them?
Right.
So he calling the Most High, calling. You know, I'm trying to figure out what I need to do. And he gets so desperate that, okay, well, shoot, since the Most High ain't answering my phone call, shoot, let me go to the witch.
Yeah.
And she could call him for me.
What?
So, shoot, he done did this, and now Samuel said, shoot, look, tomorrow, you and your sons gonna be with me.
Right.
Y'all gonna die tonight. Y'all gonna die. Y'all finna die.
Right.
Man, think.
And look, Sam, you want nowhere on the south side. He didn't say y'all gonna be with me on the south side.
Right.
He said y'all gonna be with me in the grave.
Grave, boy, in the hell.
You're going to the grave, which is called hell. Mm-hmm. Hell is not the lake of fire.
Right. That's hell fire.
Hell and death were cast into the lake of fire. Hell is just the grave. When you tell somebody go to hell, you mean that I wish you died.
Right.
Plain and simple, because that's the only place hell is. Until hell freezes over, hell is cold. Ain't it?
Yeah.
You cold in there, ain't you?
Right.
But Curtis Mayfield say if there's hell below, we all gonna go.
Well,
Yeah.
but y'all, go ahead, bro.
No,
So we just, a lot of people say, well, that still seems like demonic activity, even though anything you explain that sound like do what he just said don't do. So people will say that familiar, that when Samuel was a familiar spirit, but that's because their witnesses are not lined up, and they're looking for error in the Bible. When you look for error, contradiction gonna be there.
Exactly.
It's always gonna be there. You ain't gonna never catch on because you're looking for error in the book of truth.
And then on top of that, if I can say this real fast,
Yes.
I mean, you're not even reading the story because she clearly telling you that I ain't never seen what I'm seeing before. So I mean, you'll never anywhere in any writings, any movie find where she was necromancer was summoning the dead and they seen God.
Yeah.
Ascending up and down coming and going to and fro the heavens. You'll never see that. So, I mean, these, right, like he said, just people that are clearly looking to discredit the word of the Most High. But that's why we're going to go here real fast to show, or to see how you answer these naysayers.
Yeah.
Come on, what's that?
And this is
Sirach 46.
Sirach 46. It's in the Apocrypha 13. We'll start at verse 13. And this is in the Apocrypha, y'all. And this will help explain, y'all, so you get some understanding and won't be teetering on the fence about what they really saw, y'all. But we got multiple times that the dead is raised on the other side, y'all. Any dead raised on this side, it was inside 72 hours. There's nobody ever been raised after corruption sets in. Once corruption set in and you lock like this, rigor mortis set in, you gone away from here. You can't put the thumpers on their chest, nothing to bring them back. So yeah, people been maybe flatlined and the ambulance get to the hospital, you put the thumpers on them and they come back to life. What you did is the spirit returned to them and it got them going again, but they were never what you would consider dead. And dead is signified as 72 hours of no brain activity or heart pumping. The body goes into rigor mortis. That's the sign that death is there. It ain't coming back on this side of the water. So this is Sirach
46. We're going to start in verse 13 because look, man, Jehovah's Witnesses, I know for a fact, teach this. Teach that there was a demonic spirit that she raised up from the dead.
But they hadn't read this.
Hadn't read this, though. And really didn't read that 1 Samuel 28.
That's right.
Come on.
Ecclesiastes chapter 46, verse 13. Samuel, who? Samuel,
come on,
the prophet of the Lord, beloved of his Lord, established a kingdom and anointed princesses over his people. By the law of the Most High, he judged the congregation, and the Lord had respect unto Jacob. By his faithfulness, he was found a true prophet, and by his word, he was known to be faithful in a vision.
In what?
In a vision.
Right.
He called upon the mighty Lord.
And look, before you get too far on, that's why he was going to Samuel. That's why he was trying to raise up Samuel, because Samuel, he would often go to Samuel to see what do the Lord want me to do.
The visions.
Yeah, the visions, because the Lord would talk to Samuel. That's how he talked to him through it. Samuel was a prophet.
That's right.
So he would go to the prophet to see what the Lord would require. And this is what he's doing now, even though he's going to a witch indoor. Come on.
Verse 16. He called upon the mighty Lord when his enemies pressed upon him on every side. When he offered the sucking lamb, and the Lord thundered from heaven, and with a great noise made his voice to be heard. And he destroyed the rulers of the Tyrians, is that right? And all the princesses of the Philistines. And before his long sleep, he made protestations in the sight of the Lord and his anointed. I have not taken any man's goods, so much as a shoe, and no man did accuse him. And after his death.
And after what?
His death.
That's what we read in 1 Samuel 28. After he died. Come on.
He prophesied.
He did what?
He prophesied.
He just didn't. Didn't we just read a prophecy? He said, moreover, in verse 19, moreover, the Lord will also deliver Israel with thee into the hand of the Philistines. And tomorrow shalt thou and thy sons be with me. The Lord also shall deliver the host of Israel into the hand of the Philistines. So you see that after Samuel's death, he still prophesied. This wasn't no demon. This wasn't no type of demonic activity. This was from the Most High.
That's right.
Come on.
I'm going to read that verse 20 again. And after his death, he prophesied and showed the king his end.
What king? Saul. Come on.
And lifted up his voice from the earth in prophecy to blot out the wickedness of the people.
So you see?
So he lifted up his voice in prophecy even from the grave, y'all, but Samuel never came back on this earth. In the visions, they got into what we call a trance state. You'll go into it, sometime we go into it, what we call you daydream. You'll be just sitting looking like this, and you do like this, man, look at it. You're like, boy, you was way up there. What they doing on the moon? Yeah, I was gone. I'm talking about everything gone. You just focus straight ahead. You're in a trance, so to speak. You're having a daytime vision. That's what Peter had when he went up on the rooftop about the third hour of the day. It was about 9 o'clock in Acts 10. That was the third hour of the day. He was in a trance, and he's seeing vision. Same thing. The Most High let what down?
The ladder.
With unclean beasts and took it right back up. See, the Most High can only do that. Satan can't do that. He deals with familiar spirits. You conjure them up through a portal or through a seance. And it's not that individual unless you're dealing with the devil himself. Evil spirits are what they're conjuring up. That's what Saul had on him. And David used to have to play that guitar to drive him away. Get on out of here. Get out of here. And it would calm Saul down. That's what the term music does what?
Soothe the savage beast.
Y'all, music is the most important thing, y'all. That's why the band is always out in front. You know, that's why the band is always out front. Don't they come out before the football team? And they in front of the parade. When they in front of the soldiers when we marched around Jericho. Y'all, music is more than y'all think it is. Because it gets in the subconscious.
And then it's universal.
And it's universal.
All right, well, yeah.
That's good on that.
First Samuel,
Yeah, it's good on that.
Chapter 28, verse 19 again. Moreover, the Most High will also deliver Israel with thee unto the hand of the Philistines. And tomorrow shalt thou and thy sons be with me. The Most High also shall deliver the host of Israel unto the hand of the Philistines. Then Saul fell straightway all along the earth and was sore afraid. He rolling on the ground.
Right. I was picturing that, man. Just like, you know, when the kid just fall out and start crying. Boy, just lost it, man.
Yeah.
Just lost it. But I mean, what did you expect?
Yeah.
This was like the straw that broke the camel's back,
Yes,
man.
sir.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you done did all this wickedness and now you done did this. Man, you just sealed your death.
Yeah.
You just sealed your fate.
Yes,
right.
sir.
Now a man from the dead come back and tell you.
Boy, look, he said you finna be with me.
Boy, look here.
Boy.
And not only that, so you told him what time.
Right.
No, look, you ain't got but a few hours left.
Right.
I'll see you later. I see you later.
I see you.
Right.
Matter of fact, I see you and your boys.
What you got to do?
Yahshua Yehuda asks, do y'all think Saul will be in the kingdom with Israelite believers and law keepers?
Will he? No, not from his way. No, look, he's going the way of Judas Iscariot.
Yes, he's going to his place, perdition.
Right, he's the son of perdition at this
because
point.
it's already his prophecy, the last prophecy for his life.
Right, right. That was called dying in your sin.
Willingly did that.
Dying in your sin. That's a difference, y'all.
Because he gave up. He had no faith.
No hope.
He gave up all faith.
Right, like you're right. Treason. Boy.
That's called blasphemy of the Holy Spirit. That's a form of it when you try to use it to your advantage through the dark side. That's blasphemy. That's what Mark 3:30 says. To say that the works of the Most High is done of the devil. You gonna go to the devil to try to have them do the work of the law? Don't work that way. Satan don't work for the law. Satan kills children and newborn babies. He causes miscarriages before the baby ever get to the earth because the Lord formed prophets in the womb. He have somebody come out of nowhere and swing a baseball bat. What you doing with a baseball bat and a check cashing place? It'll come out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? And people be like, man, what happened with that? That's how dirty the devil play. You think he care about a child? But not to cut you off before you move on, I have to say this to y'all. Y'all get into the book of Jasher, chapter 42 and 30 on down now. It's something in there that's going to make you think that you can talk to dead people. And that's Joseph talking to his mother. Now, that's a prophecy. When you get down into verse 30 and you read on down, you're going to get to understanding that he fell into a trance as well. And there's something called Rachel weeping for her children. When did Rachel, the mother of Jacob, die?
Right.
She died before they went into Egypt. So she never saw what she did. She prophesied, and she never went into Egypt. She prophesied that the children will be getting killed. Now, how is she weeping and she already dead? Exactly. Not only this, but then Jeremiah bring it up in Jeremiah 31 to say, and Rachel weeping for her children. It means when the slaughtering of Israelite children happened, she weeps from her grave. See, but the Catholics try to mirror that when you see the Virgin Mary crying, or they show blood crying from her eyes. This ain't said that. This ain't said no blood come from her eyes. And also in Matthew 2nd chapter, you see Rachel weeping for her children again when Herod kills every child 2 years and under trying to kill the Messiah. And it says Rachel is weeping for her children again. So we have to understand what dual prophecies are. So y'all, when y'all get into that Jasher, no, he ain't talking to his mama like that. When you understand, he fell still as a stone. When you go into a trance, you still as a stone. It's like you sleep with your eyes wide open.
And you notice you don't hear any sound, anything. Everything is blocked out.
Yeah, the Israelites didn't even hear nothing, so they didn't hear nobody talking. Like the witch of Endor, they just say, he crazy. And they start whipping him. Get out from that grave, get your ugly, and get into slavery. So when y'all check that out, don't think the Bible is ever contradicting itself. It's all one law, and there's a law of you can't deal or talk or try to conjure up dead people. Yeah. It ain't never happened. Ain't no prophet ever tried to do it. It's only Israelites that got in trouble tried to do it.
Not only that, the Most High said he's the God of the living.
Yeah.
Let the dead bury the dead.
Let the dead bury the dead. You're absolutely right, bro. And look, we're trying to conjure up the dead to see where that lotto ticket at. That's what was happening in Whoopi Goldberg. Ask them where the lotto ticket at. But notice they had to keep paying and keep coming back because those familiar spirits would just disappear out on them. And notice they didn't have on no white robes or palms in their hand like the souls underneath the altar. They had on their regular club clothes, didn't they? One boy showed up in his bus uniform and a preacher showed up. That's how the demon deal with familiar spirits. He just brings it back the last time you remember them. If you have a vision of anybody die in your family, they got on them clothes you last seen them in. That's the last memory of them to you. Ain't nobody said, I saw my big mama come back and she had on a white robe and she was glistening like the sun and a palm was in her hand.
Right.
Have anybody ever had that vision?
Not at all.
She had on her favorite dress, and that hat she used to like to wear the first Sunday. That ain't in the kingdom. You can't bring that hat in the kingdom. Let's read Saul, brother.
Where we at?
With all the little babies.
Yeah.
One and only Tom and Jerry mama.
Yeah.
1 Samuel chapter 28, verse 20 again. Then Saul fell straightway all along the earth, and was sore afraid because of the words of Samuel. And there was no strength in him, for he had eaten no bread all day, nor all the night. And the woman came unto Saul, and saw that he was sore troubled, and said unto him, Behold, thine handmaid hath obeyed thy voice, and I have put my life in my hand, and have hearkened unto thy words, the words which thou speakest unto me. Now therefore I pray thee, hearken thou also unto the voice of thine handmaid, and let me set a morsel of bread before thee, and eat, that thou mayest have strength when thou goest on thy way. But he refused and said, I will not eat. But his servants, together with the woman, compelled him, and he hearkened unto their voice. So he arose from the earth and sat upon the bed. And the woman had a fat calf in the house, and she hastened to kill it, and took flour and kneaded it, and did bake unleavened bread therefore. And she brought it before Saul and before his servants, and they did eat. Then they rose up and went away that night.
See, you know what they remind me of? When you're on death row and they give you that
last meal. Look, and it was a righteous meal. Right. Look, your last meal. This how you going out. This the last good eating.
Boy, look, that had to be the longest meal that he ever ate, man. Knowing you finna get ready to die, man. Shoot.
Boy, that's how the devil play you, don't it?
Man, play you, boy. You just see, man, he a no good, low down snake.
Boy, that's what he is, y'all. And you give him any leeway, but y'all, we have to have on full armor, spiritual armor. Y'all, he just don't come at you in the daytime. He come at you when you sleep. That's the best time to get you, because he control the flesh after that. When you wake up, your consciousness show you in trouble. You be like, man, what's wrong? Nothing. Something's wrong. No, it ain't.
Right. We going to Acts 8, 1 through 25.
Yeah, bro.
All right, next we going to Acts 8. Acts 8, we're gonna look at another wicked one. Simon the sorcerer.
Boy, y'all seen the Halloween movie? They can't kill Jason, can they?
Michael Myers.
Look, he the same age, and she done got 10 years, 50 years old, ain't she?
Let that boy Judah break it off, man. Tell him why. Tell him why. But look, he was
a druid.
Yeah, when he was explaining to me,
he can't die, y'all. He's a familiar spirit. He just keep coming back. As her brother. Her brother dead. That's just a familiar spirit in the mask. And y'all, we got to be careful of all these things dealing with masks.
Masquerade.
Yes, you hide behind the evil.
It's a trick. It's a lie. That ain't really your face.
Deception. Deceit.
It's your conscience.
Yes, your conscience.
all right, Acts chapter 8, we starting at 1 through 25.
Y'all be careful of this conscience.
Right.
This conscience they have access to. This conscience that you think you deleted it, you taking pictures of yourself after a shower, and then you say delete, it goes to the cloud.
Pictures of yourself after a shower.
That's a problem. Look here.
That's a problem with it.
If you see somebody kill 2 white people and film it, that's the least of what you won't see somebody do. This boy say, I'm live, I just killed this guy. And he got it on Facebook. Robbing a bank, showing stolen goods. Or, boy, look, taking a picture of yourself after you get out the shower. It's lightweight work because you didn't delete, but it ain't there. It comes back.
Right.
Y'all don't want them to bring it up, y'all, because they bring it all up. The devil play dirty. The devil play dirty. And he'll go up in the cloud on you.
Oh, man.
Straight up.
So y'all don't take no pictures, don't put sin unless you sure you don't ever want to see it again. But if you hit sin, you can't unring the bell.
Not at all, boy.
Oh, boy.
And seeing this, not to say this, but this holiday, this holy folly day that's coming up, Halloween, you can dress up any way you want to. Men will be dressing up as transvestites.
Boy.
Because that's what they feel on the inside. That's the day to do as thou wilt. You can be anything you want on this.
Let your conscience show.
Yeah. Anything you want to be for 24 hours, and then you go back to yourself.
Yeah. Acts chapter 8, y'all.
Acts chapter 8, verse 1. And Saul was consenting unto his death.
It's a different Saul, y'all.
Right. Paul.
Paul,
Right.
Who Paul told the road to Damascus, his
Yeah.
name was changed. Go ahead. Just coincidence.
Common name.
Yeah.
And at that time, there was a great persecution against the church, which was at Jerusalem. And they were all scattered abroad throughout the regions of Judea and Samaria, except the apostles. And devout men carried Stephen to his burial, and made great lamentation over him. As for Saul, he made havoc of the church, entering into every house, and hauling men and women, committed them to prison.
Let me reverse what I said. His name was Saul. It was changed to Paul, not the other way around. So he's into his dark side, so to speak. But we're going to see a difference in these two Sauls. Go ahead.
Verse 4. Therefore they that were scattered abroad went everywhere preaching the word. Then Philip went down to the city of Samaria and preached Christ unto them. And the people with one accord gave heed unto those things which Philip spake, hearing and seeing the miracles which he did.
They saying what? Hearing and seeing the what?
The miracles which he did.
Uh-huh.
For unclean spirits, crying with loud voice, came out of many that were possessed with them, and many taken with palsies, and that were lame were healed.
See, that's what the power of the Most High is about.
That's right.
It's for the benefit of mankind, to make you whole, to heal you. That's the difference between the power of the Most High and the power of Satan.
Magic.
Hey, right, magic. Come on.
Verse 8. And there was a great joy in that city.
So you see that when the power of the Most High come, man, it bring about joy. But see, when you leave Miss Rudolph, the only thing you feel like is, man, I just got scammed. I just wasted all my money.
Oh, you terrified.
One or the other.
You terrified. And you don't, right. And you terrified because you scared if I don't come up with $40 more, she gonna tell me what to do tomorrow. So your life is on the hinge just like horoscope. Let me see what my horoscope say today. Don't wear blue. There you go, going back in your closet. You ready to go to work. You already late and you back in the closet because you read your horoscope late. There's tragedy with blue on. Well, when you change to brown and you got to work, they say you fired. Now brown the new blue. Yeah. Yes. Go ahead, bro.
Exactly. Verse 9. But there was a certain man called Simon, which before time in the same city used sorcery.
He used what?
Sorcery.
Or magic. Come on.
And bewitched the people of Samaria.
Right, putting spells on them and stuff to bewitch them. Come on.
Giving out that himself was some great one.
He was some what?
Great one.
And see, look, that's what that's what the power of the devil will do for you. It'll have you feeling all puffed up like you better than everybody.
Pride.
Yeah, prideful. Come on.
Verse 10. To whom they all gave heed, from the least to the greatest, saying, This man is the great power of Yah.
And look, you see how they mistaking it for the power of the Most High. But they seeing what Philip doing, and they know the truth. They see the difference between what he doing and what Philip doing. Come on.
And to him they had regard, because that of long time he had bewitched them with sorcery. But when they believed Philip preaching the things concerning the kingdom of Yahweh and the name of Yahweh Shah Hamashiach, they were baptized, both men and women. Then Simon himself believed also.
He did what?
Believed also.
What you finna say?
No, that's what I was just gonna
Come
say.
on.
That. You know, see, this a warlock believing now. But a warlock can believe, y'all have to understand this, because the Most High said, I give the wicked long life that they may come to understand who I am. So sometimes it seems like wicked people live longer than righteous people at times. But that's because he's so fair with you. I'm gonna give you the same opportunities to turn around. That's what he said in Genesis 6. It grieved his heart that he had to destroy his creation. They're part of his creation. Go ahead, Elijah.
It's the same mercy he afforded to Judas Iscariot.
Yeah.
He said Judas had a devil from birth, from youth, all the way up. But he lived a long time with Christ.
Did Judas cast out demons?
Yeah.
He did all those things.
So y'all have to understand the Most High will work with you, but you're not going to control his gift to do evil.
That's right.
You'll get that turned back around on you, and he'll use evil to bring you down. Once you trust in less than him, like he did Saul, you're going to go to the witch of Endor,
Right.
who used trickery. You're going to go from power to tricks. Tricks are for who?
You think Most High took Enoch because he probably didn't want nothing, he had to have him. So anointed. You know what I mean?
He's coming back though.
He couldn't have nothing happen to him.
Right. Absolutely. Well, once just like Elijah. Once you serve your purpose, you go to paradise, and you hold in point. But Hebrews 9:27 is appointed for every man to die once. They got to come back. They got to taste death because they were born of
the flesh.
Of woman that was shaping it. I mean, they were shaping in iniquity.
Born of a woman.
Yeah, so, two witnesses, they got to come back. They'll stand before the Antichrist and cuss him out good with scripture.
And show the world to believe on Hamashiach.
There's a witness and testimony of what the scriptures say.
I had a question. She wants to know, can we all explain seeing ghosts called her childhood?
Say what?
Ghosts in her
She
childhood.
wants to know if anybody can explain her seeing ghosts in all her childhood.
She would just be called a seer in the scripture. Children always see them because they're in innocence. That's why Satan likes to attack in their innocence, because they can see spirits. And they'll point. Yeah, you'll see a baby. Look, y'all can do this right now. Demon in baby's bedroom. You'll see a baby. I'm talking about standing up on the rail of the bed, like you walking a tightrope. And they had to get a camera because of the stuff that was happening that night. And when you hear children say, "My friend sleeps under the bed," you better look up under that bed.
Yeah. It's like, dang.
See, because they don't have any sin upon them yet until they reach puberty.
That's right.
The veil over the eye, that's another term from Mississippi. Instead of saying a seer, they said they had a veil over their eye. That's what country folks used to just call it. A veil over their eye. They can see spirits.
During the apocalypse, that's a veil being taken down. We'll be able to see everything, right? That's what the apocalypse is.
Well, yeah, when that happens, he'll remove that from, so you can see spirits walking all around like Messiah. When they see spirits, they're like, man, go over there. Spirits used to just be around. There's spirits walking around in here. We just can't see them. A child probably could see them, but they walking amongst us. Satan is all amongst us. He was in the garden.
Remember that movie Poltergeist?
Yeah.
He was always after that little girl.
Or like that movie, what's that, Insidious? Man, always after that little boy. Always after him.
Yo, that's why he say put on spiritual armor. He didn't say put on no flesh armor. What you doing with a bulletproof vest on for a demonic spirit? What you think that's gonna do?
Or cocking a gun.
Yeah,
man.
you gonna be shooting like Willie and Ghost. You just shooting at the mirror. You can't see what's there. And then Willie running with the pistol, hit them steps. I ain't never seen nobody go down 50 steps and hit just 2 of them. And he was out the door and then get run over by a cab. With the pistol in his hand, looking back. How you gonna shoot at a demon? Resist the devil.
And he'll flee.
And he will flee. How hard is that, y'all? Just say, go away from her. I'm not gonna go against the Lord even if you kill me. I'm gonna kill your son. Well, do what you gotta do, player. We was born to die, wasn't we? The Lord giveth, the Lord taketh away. And he will leave you alone for a season. How long a season?
3 months. About 3 months.
That's as long as he'll leave and he'll be back. You get 90 days of devil free unless you get involved with something. But he's coming back.
Don't try again.
All right, where we at?
Verse 10. No.
Like at 13.
You say 29? Oh.
You had we passed 9. You had like 13, ain't you?
No, he was
13.
baptized. Yeah, 13.
Simon believed himself also.
Yeah.
13. Then Simon himself believed also. And when he was baptized, he continued with Philip and wondered, beholding the miracles and signs which were done.
Coming on that, bro.
Huh.
You see the difference what he was
He
beholding?
wondered.
He was
Simon
wondering.
the sorcerer. But you see the difference in what he called it, not sorcery. He called it what?
Miracles and signs.
Miracles and signs.
Can't be explained in common the natural forces of law. What they saying, this is outside of that. There's no explanation for this we're seeing right here. There's no explanation.
And then you know he comparing it to what he was doing because
Yeah.
he's stunned. He's like, nah,
That's
what
why
I
he
was
won.
doing, I understand what I was doing, but
Right.
what he doing is on a whole nother level.
Yes, sir.
On a whole nother level, so it puzzled them. Like, man, how is he doing it?
Right. With no tricks.
None.
Right. And he ain't trying to get paid for it either.
Right. Come on.
Verse 14. Now when the apostles which were at Jerusalem heard that Samaria had received the word of Yahweh, they sent unto them Peter and John, who when they were come down prayed for them, that they might receive the Holy Ghost. For as yet he was fallen upon none of them, only they were baptized in the name of the Lord Yahweh Shah.
So water baptism only took place with Simon the sorcerer. But water baptism is to repentance. That means if I go get dunked, I'm going to let go of all those bad behaviors or I'm going to come back up a wet sinner.
That's right.
So he was only water baptized. He was not baptized with the Holy Spirit yet. Simon the sorcerer was. Go ahead, brother.
17. Then laid they their hands on them, and they received the Holy Ghost. And when Simon saw that through laying on of the apostles' hands, the Holy Ghost was given, he offered them money.
He did what? What did he do?
Offered them money, saying, give me also this power, that on whomsoever I lay hands, he may receive the Holy Ghost.
So look, this make you really question, did he really believe?
No,
Or was he in it because like all warlocks are opportunists?
Yeah, right.
Witches and warlocks are opportunists.
Yeah.
So he seen something greater than what I was doing. Dang, all these people I had bewitched, but he come and now he done broke the spell.
Yeah.
With his signs and with his miracles. I wonder what he doing. So he probably, you know what I'm saying, thought up in his mind, let me get close to him.
Offer him money.
Offer him, and then look, he was still wondering, how is Philip doing this?
Yeah.
But then the apostles come and he see the apostles, it was through the laying on of hands that it was given. So he was like, he looked at it right then and there, he was like, this is my opportunity.
But you see,
I give you some money.
all the while he was rolling with the apostles, he was trying to figure out how can I have this as an angle?
Yeah.
Because
An
if he was a
opportunity.
true believer, he wouldn't have had to wonder.
Yeah,
He
right.
knew it was the power of the Elohim, and he'd have abided in that. It wouldn't have been no wondering. trying to figure this thing out.
Yeah.
Where can I get in at?
Right. So
get in where I fit in at and use this my angle.
Exactly. So
because it look like the whole new fad now. This is the end thing now because everybody loving this act as opposed my game is playing out.
Yeah.
This the revised edition.
Exactly.
The new hustle. I gotta get on this.
Right.
And so that's one of the other things before I'll call you, brother, that we have to be very careful about how we deliver the word to unlearned.
Yeah.
That they don't think this is just a new fad or just a new end thing to be in.
Right.
We have to bring truth and honesty in law, statutes, and judgments to the unlearned. So they have a clear understanding of what it is, what kind of walk they're entering into. Otherwise, they think this is the new hot thing.
Right.
And so what you do is you start regurgitating bad information.
Yeah.
Right. And you blaspheme the name of the Most High in front of the Gentiles.
That's right.
So we have to be very careful about how we deliver this word to unlearn.
That's right.
It's just what we call it the buddy system.
Right.
That's what it's called.
The buddy system.
Buddy.
They not just hanging around,
seeing what's going on.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
When he leaves, they leave.
Right.
One thing I used to always tell people when they ask me questions concerning this, you really want to know this because once you find out, you held the tongue. Do you want this walk? Do you want the answer to what you ask? Because once it's delivered, you held the tongue. There's no excuse. And they need to know that this is no fun and games. This is about salvation versus damnation.
Yeah.
This is for life or damnation eternal.
Exactly.
This ain't no game.
Yeah.
This ain't no new thing to just hang on and just be a part of.
Right.
This is forever. And they need to know that.
Right.
And if you ain't prepared to give them that, you need to get the hell up out of it yourself.
That's right. Because you can't keep it unless you give it away.
That's right.
So you got to be on the point to give it away, or you can't get no interest on the spirituality, so to speak. You can't store up no treasures in heaven. You can't keep it unless you give it away. So we have to understand that, y'all. Just let me say this real quick before I get to your AZ. Deuteronomy 34:9. So laying on hands ain't just happened in the New Testament.
That's right.
Deuteronomy 34:9. And Joshua, the son of Nun, full of the spirit of wisdom, for Moses had laid his hands upon him, and the children of Israel hearkened unto him, and did as the Lord had commanded Moses. So Moses knew how to lay hands on. And the spirit transferred, and wisdom came on. Those spirits came on him. Wisdom and courage came on him. He didn't have all the gifts, but he had wisdom and courage because he needed that to go fight against the nations to take Jerusalem. He needed wisdom, know how to get inside and figure out how we're going to take it. And then he needed courage because he was only 20 years old to go in there and fight like that.
Right.
A young man full of wisdom and courage. No, they couldn't have taught a coward this. It would have been counterproductive, wouldn't it?
Right.
You don't talk to a coward about matters of war.
Not at all.
Let's get it, Joe.
What we at?
Verse 19. I'm going to hit 19 again. Saying, give me also this power, that on whomsoever I lay hands, he may receive the Holy Ghost. Excuse me. But Peter said unto him, thy money perish with thee, because thou hast thought that the gift of Yahweh may be purchased with money.
Right. How you gonna purchase a gift? It's a gift.
It's a gift.
You don't buy no gift. Huh?
That's how they do it in church. You can pay the people.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Pay to play.
Pay to play, right.
Sow your seeds.
Exactly.
So you'll see, y'all. So, but it's just trickery.
That's the same thing what he talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure. He think he want to buy it so he can make more money off of it. That's what it is, but he ain't understanding, man. You can't control the spirit of the
He's
Most
an
High.
opportunist.
Yeah, opportunist.
Yeah. Verse 21.
Plant-based.
Thou hast neither part nor lot in this matter, For thy heart is not right in the sight of Yahweh.
So you see what he said? You ain't got part in this.
Right.
Man, you can't partake in this right here.
Right.
Because your heart is not right. See, his heart was set on something else.
Yeah.
It wasn't the right paper chasing.
You ain't ready for this walk.
Man, you ain't ready for this.
This ain't for you.
Yeah, this ain't for you. Come on.
Repent therefore of
Do
this
what?
thy wickedness.
Do what?
Repent therefore of this thy wickedness.
So you know, whatever he was asking, it was wickedness.
Yeah.
This was wicked. This wasn't no right thing. What you trying to purchase the gift of the Most High for?
With money.
With money. Man, you can't buy the Most High.
Boy, ain't that something? What you gonna think? He looking at them dead presidents like that exciting the Most High.
Right. Look, what you gonna give me that I can't get myself?
Right.
What you gonna get the Most High that he can't give himself? Nothing. Man, that's why it's a gift, man. He just give it to you freely. That's why I come and go as he pleases it for it. But see, that's what a witch or a warlock are trying to do. They see the power of the Most High and understand, like, dang, this power right here greater than what I was dealing with.
Yeah.
Just like when Moses was going up against Janus and Jambres.
Yeah.
They realized that, nah, what he dealing with, at first they was trying to say, man, he just an artificer like us.
Yeah.
But then they started realizing, man, like, nah, this something on a whole nother level. Come on, where we at? Was you finna say something?
No, I ain't finished 22. I was at 22. Repent therefore of this thy wickedness and pray Yahweh, and perhaps the thought of thine heart may be forgiven thee. For I perceive that thou art in the gall of bitterness and in the bond of iniquity. Then answered Simon and said, Pray ye to the Most High for me, that none of these things which ye have spoken come upon me. And they, when they had testified and preached the word of the Most High, returned to Jerusalem and preached the gospel in many villages of the Samaritans.
Okay, that's the end of that.
But if you notice, he asked him to pray for him. He didn't pray himself.
Exactly. Exactly.
He said, no, Peter told him, you go pray
go to Jasher's.
and ask the Most High to forgive you. Maybe he'll forgive you of your wickedness.
Yeah,
But he said, no, you go pray for him.
Huh.
No, it just said they burnt out.
And look what Peter told me, say, I see you in the gall of bitterness. See, this is after being water baptized. He just came up with wet sinner. So y'all, this ain't why we're saying that we do water baptism, but we want you to understand baptism of the Holy Spirit is more powerful. Water baptism is based on your consciousness changing. You go down and you say, I'm going to quit what I did before I went down in this water. And you live your life. Yeah, and when you do that consistently, then the Lord will send you the gift. But you just can't go in the water and think it's going to happen just like that.
It ain't the water.
You get misunderstood, don't you?
Exactly.
It's the belief system.
Exactly.
It's not the water.
Just like in
just like when Philip was going to baptize the Ethiopian.
Yeah.
He said, it ain't the water, it's do you believe?
That's what he asked.
But it's just like the children of Israel when they was all baptized when they was going through the Red Sea. You know what I'm saying? But nobody was dunked in the water.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So, but right, like you were saying, it's still about belief because even though they were baptized, those that didn't believe didn't get into the promised land. They still perished in the wilderness.
That's right.
Letting you know that it's more than just being baptized. This is a belief thing.
Abraham believed on the Most High.
That's why it's
counted as righteousness. Yeah, it was imputed onto him for righteousness.
If you don't believe it, get out of it. You can't say part of it's tampered with and still say I believe. That's an oxymoron, ain't it?
Yeah.
How do you get back into the doctrine of the devil like that?
Man, that's double talk.
Look, it's double talk. It's like the church lady that came home and caught the burglar in her house running out the back door with her goods, and she hollered, "Stop thief! Acts 2:38." And he stopped. And when the police got there and locked him up, they say, "Why didn't you just run? The door was open, your car right there." He said, "I heard her say she got an axe in 2:38." See, sometimes you can hear the wrong thing. You have to listen closely, y'all. Yeah, y'all. My boy Moses told me that the other day. I said, boy, that was a good one. That's an honorable mention.
Oh, man.
Let's pick it up, y'all. We ain't got but 40 minutes. Go ahead.
Yashir Yehuda asks, what is the gift of Elohim?
His Holy Spirit,
Right,
that's the gift. That's why you can't blaspheme against it. It's 100% truth and righteousness. That's what it is. That's why you can't blaspheme against it. That's why they said you going to, that's why they told Simon the sorcerer, that's a death penalty what you just asked for. You asking to by the Holy Spirit? What's wrong with you?
I mean, like, how much was he thinking he was gonna give
for?
Boy, what you was thinking you was gonna give for, man? That's what I want to know.
Oh, like it was in their power, but it's your favorite script too, by where it said with that Acts 3, where it say, y'all act like these things, and I'm some great person that I'm doing. Peter say, it ain't me. This power comes from the Most High. You know the script talking about that's one of your favorite, Acts 3, I believe. But hold on, go ahead on which class. I'll find it.
No,
Tupac like me.
It's his one, yeah. Peter said it.
They ain't getting home. They're just putting
Here you go, Acts 3:12. Yo, read Acts 3:12 too, Bob. You get what you say.
We gonna make you feel.
Look here, I'm trying to make sure that sometimes ain't setting in early.
Acts 3:12. And when Peter saw it, he answered unto the people, ye men of Israel, why marvel ye at this? Or why look ye so earnestly on us, as though by our own power or holiness we had made this man to walk?
See, so that's what you say. He just forgot. But he would holler it out on the radio. Like Peter was saying, you think this power was coming from me? You think this power was coming from me? But he would holler it out, maybe just giving his ammunition. But he would say, like when they were saying we heal people. He went to this scripture. That's how I know what it is. I got it from him. He just forgot.
That's a lot of Hebrews that somebody sound like you.
Somebody sound like you.
Hey,
did you say
you look as though you can fit that jacket.
But it's just one you hollered off on the radio, and when I looked at it, I'm like, yeah, that's a good one right there, because it lets you know you can't never say, I healed somebody.
Right.
And that was because individuals were now saying they're healing people.
Right.
And Peter said, y'all can't even look at us like we heal. And y'all, this ain't us. This power was given to us freely to give to y'all if righteousness is a seed. It ain't me. I wasn't born with it. It was given to me for obedience. But you said it.
I take it what I say.
He's just gonna put that on him. But, all right, y'all. So now what we finna do?
He's only one witness to by.
You can get on board with one witness.
Look, we get him on the radio. He hollering off quick.
All right, y'all. Now we're gonna go in the book of Jasher, chapter 61, and we finna get into one of the most powerful warlocks or wizards that was mentioned in the Bible, Balaam. Make David Blaine look like what he doing child's play. Y'all seen that movie? That was David Blaine that coughed up the frogs, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, just coughing up the frogs. Dave Chappelle,
took off running.
Boy, and they just looking, sitting there laughing like he ain't just cough up 3 frogs out of his mouth. Dave Chappelle clone. No. Dave Chappelle, Steph Curry, Drake.
Look, and all it's saying is he's a warlock on the nighttime show. Instead of performing a miracle, he coughed up frogs, like it said the Antichrist will do.
3 frogs.
3 frogs. So when you look in Revelation and you see 13 and 16, you see what the Antichrist do. They say he's gonna call for frogs.
What he doing?
So that's what he's mirroring.
Boy,
the dark side,
right.
and it's for entertainment.
Right.
Everybody jumps like, whoa, what coughing up frogs gonna do? What is 3 frogs doing in your belly anyway?
And look in the Bible, man, frogs are frogs are nasty.
Yes.
Man, frogs nasty. Man, look, we at work right now. We doing a boar pit, man, and that's all this jump around is frogs. And you really see how nasty frogs is, man.
Shalom, brother.
Shalom.
Yeah, they nasty. Then they have mucus that
Man, mucus on their skin. Yeah.
from their pus and stuff like that.
Man, just gross, man.
And look, come on, it taste like chicken. Do you know them legs be moving while they cooking?
Man, we crushed the frog, and I mean the leg was still kicking. Boy, just nasty, man. It's like it make you wonder what he was doing. Was he auditioning for the position?
Yeah,
or
boy,
something?
look what?
Was he auditioning for the for the false prophet position? I mean, just coughed up 3 frogs like it was nothing.
One of those jamborees
Janice and Jamborees.
But as he's saying, Balaam was the most wicked warlock on the planet. Like we may say, David Blaine, Chris Angel, or at one time it was the boy that came from Israel, Uri Gelly, and the other boy that Michael Jackson was hanging around, Copperfield. Those were top warlocks. But Balaam was he come from a family of warlocks. His daddy was Baal Peor. This how far their lineage go back. His daddy had a doctrine named after him for wickedness. Baal Peor is the daddy of that. They got it from Satan. That's Balaam's dad. And he learned it early. So y'all have to understand, when people were sent for him to try to curse Israel, I mean, he was coming from 400 miles.
I'm talking
people were sending from, wasn't nobody else around like Balaam. Balaam was top magician, y'all.
He was the top dog.
You know how they would throw a card through a glass and the card be on the other side of the glass? That was in his early stages.
Top dollars.
Now, y'all, and the reason we're saying this is because when the Antichrist comes, Satan is giving him all of his power. And he's going to do wonders that if it were possible,
boy,
he'd see the very elect. Y'all, so what we saying now, y'all can't be caught up in this little foolishness of people talking about doing magic and Antichrist still on his way. If you hooked on that already, you're going to be a 2-piece herb.
I'm talking about done for, boy. Done for, because like he said, man, if it were possible, man, he'll deceive even the very elect, man. That just go to show you how, you know what I'm saying, how convincing what he gonna be doing is gonna be able to convince everybody else. What you got, bro?
Everything is said. See, and that prevents him. Look, but the other thing is he can't block out the sun and the moon and still perform. He can't do it. So that, no matter what miracles he do, you just do this. Change the channel.
Yeah.
What you got back there, Mike?
He said he can change it. You can't change his face either, right?
He can't change what?
His face, man.
Who, the Antichrist? He ain't gonna need to change it. All he gonna do is change your mind. That's all he have to. He ain't worried about changing his face. He needs to change your mind from trusting in the Most High. Don't care what he look like. The miracle's gonna take the face away from you. What he doing? You're gonna be fascinated with the trick. And you're gonna think he got it. All the pictures you used to have in your house of white Jesus and black Jesus, you're gonna say, no, this is him. Throw them away. But it's coming, y'all. Let's speed it up, y'all. We got about a half hour, so.
Yeah, we're gonna roll through this. We're gonna hit with like 2 more scriptures. Yeah, I'm gonna let you work it.
Okay. Yes, sir. Go ahead, where we at, y'all? We're in Jasher 61.
We're going to be reading in the book of Jasher, chapter 61. We'll start the reading in verse 1. Let's get some understanding, family.
Start about verse 6. Time say.
Well, you can really, verse 6. Yeah, verse 6. 6 to 11. 6 to 11. Yeah,
6 to 11. Verse 6. And Zeppo was in those days daily enticing Angius to fight with the sons of Jacob in those days. And after some time, Angius hearkened to the words of Zeppo, and consented to him to fight with the sons of Jacob in Egypt.
With the who?
With the sons of Jacob in Egypt. And Angeas got all his people in order, a people numerous as the sand which is upon the seashore. And he formed his resolution to go to Egypt to battle.
Right, to go to battle, because Zepho was a descendant of Esau.
Yes, sir.
And he wanted to get Israel back for what they did to the children of Esau when they went to go bury Jacob. And they met, you know, when they was coming out of Egypt to bury, it was Jacob, right? Yeah, and Israel put a whooping on Esau. Right. So Zepho won't pay back for that.
And he was a warrior. He was a champion.
Man.
He killed a half man and half
beast. Yeah, he was a warrior. He wasn't no joke. So he looking for revenge on the children of Israel. Come on.
Verse 8. And amongst the servants of Angeas was a youth 15 years old.
How old was he?
15 years old.
This ain't nothing but a boy. Come on.
Balaam.
But who?
Balaam.
Come on.
The son of Beor.
The son of Beor. This is the same Balaam, the son of Beor, that you'll read about in Numbers 22 all the way to like 25.
Yes, sir.
You know, you'll read about him. He was a top warlock. He been doing this since 15. Come on.
The son of Beor was his name. And the youth was very wise and understood the art of witchcraft.
What do you understand?
The art of witchcraft.
So he was very skilled in it. I'm talking about knew it frontwards and backwards. Knew it like the back of his hands. Since 15 years old, y'all. Because look, like Daniel said, he was the son of Beor. Beor was a witch himself, so this was something that was passed down from generation to generation to generation. So they started him early.
So he knew it before 15.
Yeah, he knew it before.
Probably at 15 was at his point of actually
doing his
thing.
Yeah, he's a pro now.
Yeah,
He's a professional
servant of Satan.
Yeah. At 15.
At 15.
High up in the ranks of Satan's army. Come on.
Verse 9. And Angeas said unto Balaam, conjure for us.
Do what?
Conjure for us.
And when you look up the word conjure, it means to call up on a spirit or ghost to appear by means of magic ritual. So that's what he's doing. He's going to do a ritual to call up on a familiar spirit. Come on.
I pray thee, with the witchcraft.
With the what?
With the witchcraft.
Come on.
That we may know who will prevail in this battle to which we are now proceeding.
So now he asking him to do divination because he want to peep into the future and see who gonna win this battle between Zepho and the children of Israel. So they calling a witch or a wizard. So he can tell them the future.
Yeah.
Come on.
Verse 10. And Balaam ordered that they should bring him wax.
They should bring him what?
Wax. And he made thereof the likeness of chariots and horsemen, representing the army of Angeas and the army of Egypt. And he put them in the cunningly prepared waters that he had for that purpose. And he took in his hand the boughs of myrtle trees, and he exercised his cunning, and he joined them over the water. And there appeared unto him in the water the resembling images of the host of Angeas, falling before the resembling images of the Egyptians and the sons of Jacob.
So you see that he doing a whole ritual. This a whole ritual. This a witch ritual.
Yeah.
To see what was gonna happen between the children of Israel and the army of Angeas. That's how you pronounce it?
Angeas.
Yeah, Angeas. Come on.
Verse 11. And Balaam told this thing to Angeas, and Angeas despaired and did not arm himself to go down to Egypt to battle, and he remained in his city.
All right, so with that, now we're gonna go to Jasher chapter 70, and we're gonna read that whole thing. But I just wanted to go there and show y'all that Balaam, man. When you talk about witchcraft, wizardry, and all of that, man, he was on a whole nother level with it.
Yeah.
He was on a whole nother level with it, and from the beginning, he was always at Israel. Always. From the time that he started doing what he was doing to the end of his life. He was always constantly trying to get at the children of Israel or getting paid to try to get at the children of Israel. When y'all get a chance tonight, I want y'all to read Numbers 22 through chapter 25, and it'll get in depth in the story. What we at, chapter 70?
Yeah. And the reason it's saying, y'all, because we go back to the beginning on all warlocks and wizards. So if anybody say to you, Balaam, the Lord let Balaam do wickedness, we have to go back to the beginning to see why the Lord would allow this. So we go back to the beginning and we see that he learned this practice from his dad.
Exactly.
At 15, he was a seasoned veteran.
I'm talking about boy.
And conjuring up demons.
He was conjuring up demons like Elijah was slapping paint.
Oh, boy.
Right.
Good.
Right, just good.
Good.
Let's roll.
Yeah. All right, the book of Joshua, chapter 70 and verse 1. 70.
LXX.
Is that what that is?
LXX.
L50X10.
What is that? Verse 1. And in the 3rd year from the birth of Moses, Pharaoh was sitting at a banquet, when our parent, the queen, was sitting at his right, and Bathia at his left. And the lad Moses was lying upon her bosom, and Balaam the son of Beor with his 2 sons. And all the princes of the kingdom were sitting at the table in the king's presence.
So look at this. This crazy because when you sit here and think about it, it said Moses as a lad was sitting here, and Balaam and his 2 sons, Janus and Jambres. They all sitting at the table in the presence of the king. Come on.
Verse 2. And the lad stretched forth his hand upon the king's head, and took the crown from the king's head, and placed it on his own head. And when the king and princes saw the work which the boy had done, the king and princes were terrified, and one man to his neighbor expressed astonishment. And the king said unto the princes who were before him at the table, or at table, What speak you, and what say you, O ye princes, in this matter? And what is to be the judgment against the boy on account of his act? And Balaam the son of Beor, the magician, answered before the king and princes. And he said, Remember now, O my lord and king, the dream which thou didst dream many days since, and that which thy servant interpreted unto thee.
See, so yeah, I was just going to say Moses was sitting in the bosom of Pharaoh's daughter. That was the daughter that got him out of the water.
Yeah.
So she just had him there like it was her own child.
Yeah.
So he's sitting at the king's table. You know, but he did something that he shouldn't have, because you remove the king's crown. That's a sign of taking over authority. Even if you a baby, it's not allowed. It's not allowed for a queen to do it. She couldn't just say, let me borrow your crown for a minute. That meant instant death. You know, so Bathsheba had to bow before Solomon, her son, when she came in to talk to him. But it wasn't a bow like she worshiped him. It was just acknowledging that my son is the king. So in like manner, when you see what he did to pull that off, that they would have killed him even though he was just 3 years old. It was worthy of death. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 6. Now therefore, this is a child from the Hebrew children, in whom is the spirit of Yahweh. And let not my lord the king imagine that this youngster did this thing without knowledge. For he is a Hebrew boy, and wisdom and understanding are with him. Although he is yet a child, and with wisdom has he done this and chosen unto himself the kingdom of Egypt. For this is the manner of all the Hebrews, to deceive kings and their nobles.
So look at Balaam lying.
Yeah.
Do his little snake teeth. Talking about some we deceive. Come on.
Well, he ain't got no choppers in the front. Snake teeth.
Just slither.
Yeah. Smile look like his tongue in jail. Yeah, go ahead.
To do all these things cunningly, in order to make the kings of the earth and their men tremble. Surely thou knowest that Abraham their father acted thus, who deceived the army of Nimrod, king of Babel, and Abimelech, king of Gerar, and that he possessed himself of the land of the children of Heth, and all the kingdoms of Canaan. And that he descended into Egypt, and said of Sarah his wife, She is my sister, in order to mislead Egypt and her king. His son Isaac also did so when he went to Gerar and dwelt there. And his strength prevailed over the army of Abimelech, king of the Philistines. He also thought of making the kingdom of the Philistines stumble, in saying that Rebekah, his wife, was his sister. Jacob also dealt treacherously with his brother, and took from his hand his birthright and his blessing. He went then to Padam-aram, to the house of Laban, his mother's brother, and cunningly obtained from him his daughter.
So
go ahead.
He gaslighting y'all. I mean, he gaslighting supreme. I mean, laying false charges. Everything he's saying has been a lie. The event was that.
Right.
But everything he's trying to say about him is a lie.
Right.
Saying Abraham perfectly tricked him so he can kill him. He missed the part that where they took Sarah from him.
Yeah.
And they raped men's wives, but he can't tell the Pharaoh that because he on the payroll. He just talking about the wickedness of them. He ain't gonna tell Pharaoh why those things happen.
Exactly. And didn't even mention Jacob served 14 years for one
For labor. 20 total, because they
right,
another 6.
Yeah.
Ain't mention that.
Right.
None of that.
Just right.
Gaslighting.
Boy, that's what they call it.
Gaslighting, boy, laying false accusations that appear real. It's based
Gaslighting.
off of facts, but they changing the narrative.
Or leaving something out.
Yeah.
And show
Most
right.
important facts out.
Right.
And cunningly obtained from him his daughter, his cattle, and all belonging to him, and fled away and returned to the land of Canaan to his father. His sons sold their brother Joseph, who went down into Egypt and became a slave, and was placed in the prison house for 12 years, until the former Pharaoh dreamed dreams, and withdrew him from the prison house, and magnified him above all the princes of Egypt on account of his interpreting his dreams to him. And when Yah caused a famine throughout the land, he sent for and brought his father and all his brothers and the whole of his family's household, and supported them without price or reward, and bought the Egyptians for slaves. Now therefore, my lord king, behold, this child is risen up in their stead in Egypt, to do according to their deeds, and to trifle with every king, prince, and judge. If it please the king, let us now spill his blood upon the ground.
So you see that? Balaam want to kill Moses.
Yeah.
Come on.
Lest he grow up and take away the government from thy hand, and the hope of Egypt perish after he shall have reigned. And Balaam said to the king, let us moreover call for all the judges of Egypt and the wise men thereof, and let us know if the judgment of death is due to this boy, as thou didst say, and then we will slay him.
Now see, in verse 15, he was gaslighting Joseph. He told that he just called from the prison. He said he was locked up, but he didn't tell Pharaoh why he was locked up for 12 years. He was locked up because Pharaoh's wife was getting at him and accused him of adultery and gave him a free case. But he didn't mention that to Pharaoh because then that's attacking Pharaoh.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Didn't bring that up.
No.
Why didn't bring that up, y'all? Why he's in the prison house?
Because he's trying to assassinate the character.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And that's
bad.
Right.
It's always been the narrative, as it is this day.
Verse 21. And Pharaoh sent and called for all the wise men of Egypt, and they came before the king, and an angel of the Most High came amongst them, and he was like one of the wise men of Egypt. And the king said to the wise men, surely you have heard what this Hebrew boy who is in the house has done, and thus has Balaam judged in the matter. Now judge you also, and see what is due to the boy for the act he has committed. And the angel, who seemed like one of the wise men of Pharaoh, answered and said as follows, before all the wise men of Egypt, and before the king and the princes, if it please the king, let the king send for men who shall bring before him an onyx stone and a coal of fire, and place them before the child, And if the child shall stretch forth his hand and take the onyx stone, then shall we know that with wisdom has the youth done all that he has done, and we must slay him. But if he stretch forth his hand upon the coal, then shall we know that it was not with knowledge that he did this thing, and he shall live. And the thing seemed good in the eyes of the king and the princes. So the king did according to the word of the angel of the Most High. And the king ordered the onyx stone and coal to be brought and placed before Moses. And they placed the boy before them. And the lad endeavored to stretch forth his hand to the onyx stone.
So you see, Moses was a smart child. He was actually acting in wisdom when he took the crown off the king's head. Now he's stretching forth his hand to take the onyx stone. But trip off this. Come on.
But the angel of the Most High took his hand and placed it upon the coal.
Come on.
And the coal became extinguished in his hand. And he lifted it up and put it into his mouth.
Come on.
And burned part of his lips.
Burned part of his what?
His lips. And part of his tongue.
Come on.
And he became heavy in mouth and tongue.
Yes.
And
he did what?
He became heavy in mouth and tongue.
Right. Moses, he spoke with a stutter. Yeah, with a stutter. Because his lip and his mouth was burnt. That's why Aaron had to be the mouthpiece for him when he was going to speak to Pharaoh. But read that Exodus 4:10.
4:10.
Yeah.
I don't know about that though.
And Moses said unto the Lord, and this when the Lord telling him you got to go to Pharaoh.
Yeah.
Moses is trying, this the third time he's trying to get out of going. And Moses said unto the Lord, O my Lord, I am not eloquent.
Not what?
Eloquent.
That means I don't speak fluently.
Right.
I ain't that good with the speech.
Yes, sir.
Come on.
Neither heretofore, nor since thou hast spoken unto thy servant, but I am slow of speech.
I am what?
Slow of speech.
And this is because of what just happened. When he took that coal and he put it in his mouth and it burned part of his lip and his tongue. Come on.
And of a slow tongue.
And of a slow what?
Tongue. And this when he 80 years old, he finna go back and talk to Pharaoh. He still had that stutter. But what happened was he was reaching for the onyx, so the angel had to move quickly, supernaturally, and move his hand to the hot coal. Moses had to sacrifice that lip and that tongue because they would have killed him. He was reaching for the onyx stone. Because he are the priests of the Levites, he in that lineage. He looking at the onyx and know it's part that's in the breastplate. That was an onyx stone in the breastplate of the priest. So he reached for it, and the angel moved his hand over like that, and he grabbed the stone and put that hot coal in his mouth, and they put it out, but he was stuttering ever since. The Lord say, did y'all cut that out?
James Earl Jones.
Yeah, and Aaron used to speak for him. Aaron would say, he said, your brother, when you get to the 16th verse of that, we ain't gonna read it all, he say, no, he said, I got your brother Aaron, just do what I tell you. Aaron, he can speak well.
Right.
He could be the grandfather of Ariel sitting over there. He speaks well. He will be the spokesman. Don't you even worry about saying nothing. Go ahead, bro.
Can we trace your lineage back?
Verse.
He even stutters.
Go ahead, bro.
Verse 30.
Y'all ain't a good time to have a feast and eat good and laugh at a feast. That's what you're supposed to do at a feast. Who be angry at a feast?
Nobody.
Who fussing and frying up like, who made this damn sweet potato pie? Who in the hell? No, ain't nobody like that, is there? At a feast day? Let's get some money, y'all.
Verse 30. And when the king and princes saw this, they knew that Moses had not acted with wisdom in taking off the crown of the king's head. So the king and princes refrained from slaying the child. So Moses remained in Pharaoh's house, growing up, and the Most High was with him. And whilst the boy was in the king's house, he was robed in purple, and he grew amongst the children of the king. And when Moses grew up in the king's house, Bathia, the daughter of Pharaoh, considered him as a son, and all the household of Pharaoh honored him. And all the men of Egypt were afraid of him.
And you know what? I just tripped off something though. But he actually grew up with Janice and Jambree.
Yes, sir.
Running around, they was all kids at the same time.
Yes, sir.
And then had to come back and battle them for the Most High. Just thought about
But
that.
skip down to 41, bro. For time's sake, you there? 71 and 41, where you at?
Nah, jump down to 30. 37. 37.
37.
Yeah, because I want to show y'all what Moses ended up doing when he found out what, when he found out the counsel that Balaam took against him.
Yes, sir.
All right, come on.
Verse 37. And they told him all the counsels which Balaam the son of Beor had counseled against them, and what he had also counseled against him in order to slay him when he had taken the king's crown from off his head.
So, and this was the same time Moses had went and saw the children of Israel working 7 days a week.
Yep.
Balaam told Pharaoh
The king,
to work
yeah.
them like that. Work them niggas like dogs.
Right, because Pharaoh had a dream that, you know what I'm saying, one from the children of Israel was going to raise up and he was going to free them. So this was the plan. This is what you got to do in order to prevent this from happening, and that's what ended up happening. Come on.
This was the Willie Lynch letter from.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Verse 38. And when Moses heard these things, his anger was kindled against Balaam.
Against who?
Against Balaam.
So he was on fire, man. If he would have seen Balaam, boy, it would have been like that for him.
Yeah.
Come on.
And he sought to kill
He sought to
him.
do what?
To kill him.
Come on.
And he was in ambush for him day and night.
So Moses was playing in them bushes.
Yeah.
He was in ambush. Boy.
Well, he said day and night.
It's like that when I see you, baby.
Right.
It's like that.
Soon as soon as I see you, man, it's a wrap for you.
I had to eat fire because of you.
Right. I can't speak. My lip and my tongue burnt because of you.
Baby,
Man,
you go kill me?
right.
Verse 39.
Come on.
Got you.
And Balaam was afraid of Moses. And he and his 2 sons rose up and went forth from Egypt. And they fled and delivered their souls and betook themselves to the land of Cush, of Kikianus, king of Cush. And Moses was in the king's house, going out and coming in.
All right, y'all you can drop it right there, but when you keep reading through all the way to like chapter 80, but you will see Moses and Balaam had another encounter when Moses became the king of Cush.
Right.
They had another encounter, but I mean, you would just keep seeing, man, Balaam and the children of Israel just kept bumping heads all the way into the end.
And see, this was, like I said, in the homework in Numbers 22, chapter 22 through 25.
Yeah.
You see, when Balaam fled Egypt, the children of Israel was coming through those lands, conquering them to get there. And that's when Balaam made the deal with Balak and told him, hey,
This how you get him.
this how you get him, because he was still scared of Moses. Now look, he's the top warlock, but he's scared of Moses.
Yep.
It's like now anybody y'all know practicing that sorcery or witchcraft, you tell them you the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, you come and that's who you serve, they will look this way. They won't look at you in the face if you see them in Home Depot and they see you before they see you, they head down the hardware aisle. They don't want to lock eyes with you no more because they're into that witchcraft and you can see right through it. It's a darkness that they don't want you to see their eyes, so they'll look down when you run upon them. You can't be scared of them. They're into witchcraft. That stuff don't work for nobody. Just like Balaam run off and he was the top magician. He was scared for his life. Don't you think he could have conjured up some warrior demons? But no, them demons would have told him, no, just like I told y'all first, the Spirit of God is on him. I can't really touch him, but I can tell y'all how to get him.
Yeah.
Y'all kill him. He was always a conspirator for murder of the children of Israel. I ain't gonna say I'm doing anything, but this how you get him. So when you get into that Numbers 22 to 25, he's telling the king of Balak, I can't curse him. There's no portion that I can give him. There's no ritual I can throw dust up in the air and chicken bones and frog hips. It ain't gonna work against him. But I'm gonna tell you what, we'll get him.
Yeah. And look, it was always for money too. He
Yeah.
always just did it for the money because look, when you get into that Numbers 22 through 25, the Lord was dealing with him to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Giving him the mercy that he needed to turn back.
Yeah.
And come on to righteousness, but Balaam, he just wasn't going for it, man. He just wanted that money. He was non-repentant, man, and he just looking at the money because when you read chapters 22 and 23 of that Numbers, man, he just kept saying like, man, look, this is what the Lord said, and he just kept blessing Israel, kept blessing them, and he was like, look, man, it ain't nothing that I can do. But look, like Daniel was saying, but look, I'll tell you this because I want that money. Yeah, this is what you can do. Yeah, do this, and you'll get them for a short time, but no, when they get back up, they coming for you.
See,
so,
and what happened is he's caught between contradictory of two different doctrines. He knew who our God was. He said they're evil born. They got the spirit of God in them. So that's letting you know these are the ones when Messiah say they're going to be standing on judgment day. We have prophesied in our name. He say, I don't know y'all. Y'all prophesied. You told him about who the chief God of the earth was because your God told you. But you ain't served me. Yep. You didn't do nothing for me. I tried you to see was you going to chase that paper, and you did. I told you to go straight to that prophet and tell him you can't curse the children of Israel. Finally, the one came with the right paper. The ones who say everybody's got a what? A price. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And Balaam took the paper. The Most High first let the donkey saw the angel. That saved his life because the angel was there with a sword finna kill him for disobedience. But the donkey saved him and then spoke to him. Yep. He like, why you beating the hell out of me and I saved your life? Right. Acts in 2:38. But that wasn't the case though. But look here. So this is what y'all have to understand, that when the Lord deals with false prophets, it's for his glory. Exactly. Not theirs. And he was telling you I can't curse, but he told them this is what you do. Mm-hmm. Them niggas love women. Mm-hmm. And they love staying in the bed all day. Boy. Run them heifers at them. And you got it.
Oh, God.
Right. And he just did like this to him. He said, but I'm going to need some of this. I'm going to tell you how to do it, but I need this. And I ain't talking about boogers. You know, so he let them know, but that ahooga, this is right here. Can you see that? I want to get a good picture of that. But this is what a hooga, when your eyes pop out of your head, when you see something you want so bad. A hooga, them eyes will come out. That's what it is, just like that. See them eyes popping out of his head? He said when they see fine women, the men of Israel go crazy and they will lose their soul. They will let a woman who tells you, I'm a witch. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to show you how a witch dress. Mm-hmm. And then that will lure them in. They'll turn over. They'll worship their God. They'll worship you. Mm-hmm. So we're going to get into Josephus?
Yeah, all right, y'all. So we're going to get into this Josephus, and then we'll call it a day. I praise to the Most High. You going to open it?
Yeah, you got to read it. All right, what you read? Yeah, we're going right to, what is it, 4th chapter, 6th book?
You got your book, Daniel?
4th book, 6th chapter. He got it right here.
I got no.
Yeah, you got. If you go ahead and read them, you read them.
Okay. What's this read?
Sixth, we're going to book 4, 6th chapter of Antiquity of the Jews. Y'all, we're going to the Antiquity of the Jews written by Josephus. And Josephus is going back to Balaam and his daddy, Baal-peor. And this doctrine is teach them that they are raw people and they deserve all the women they want. So what this doctrine does is it teaches men that they can have all the women they want even though they can't take care of them. And when you hear this doctrine, you're going to hear Baal-peor because the first thing they're going to tell you is you can have all the women you want. We don't care what the Bible says. They'll change the doctrine and then they'll say you have to worship their God in your temple. Mm-hmm. That's what Solomon did.
Ahab.
That's what Ahab did.
That's what Solomon did. Right.
This is what Josephus is saying when he told Balaam, and they sent their women out there. But Josephus is going to get into the details of how they was dressed and what they actually told them. Because look here, we got people around here that a witch woman told them, I will never believe the Bible. You want some of this? You got to turn your God loose. Mm-hmm. And they did. So y'all, this ain't nothing new under the sun. This ain't taking no shots at nobody. This old behavior, this familiar spirit behavior. Go ahead and get in there, bro. Nothing new under the sun.
Antiquities of the Jews, chapter 6, concerning Balaam the prophet.
Concerning who, Elisha?
Balaam the prophet and what kind of man he was.
So when you talk about Balaam and somebody try to tell you what the Lord let him do wicked, you have to start from the beginning. How this boy was raised up and when did the Most High use him. Like we talk about Elisha, like Judas Iscariot. He knew the Messiah when they was young boys. They went to grade school together. Lord tried to give him a chance. Gave him a chance at the Last Supper, didn't Elisha?
Yes.
What'd he say? He that dipped his hand in is the devil. He didn't have to name him.
And when they were young, Judas punched him in the side that he was pierced in. When they were little boys together.
And when y'all read that Numbers 22 through 25, that's basically what it's covering, what it's going over in a little bit more detail.
Go ahead,
Chapter 6, verse 1. Now Moses, when he had brought his army to Jordan, pitched his camp in the great plain over against Jericho. This city is a very happy situation and very fit for producing palm trees and balsam. And now the Israelites began to be very proud of themselves and were very eager for fighting. Moses then, after he had offered for a few days sacrifices of thanksgiving to Yahweh and feasted the people, sent a party of armed men to lay waste the country of the Midianites and to take their cities. Now the occasion which he took for making wars were upon them, and was this that followed. When Balak, the king of the Moabites.
When who?
Balak, the king of the Moabites.
So when you get into Numbers, just talk about that same Balaam that knew the children of Israel was coming through the wilderness to claim Jerusalem. This that same Balaam.
When Balak, the king of the Moabites, who had from his ancestors a friendship and league with the Midianites, saw how great the Israelites were grown, he was much affrighted on account of his own and his kingdom's danger. For he was not acquainted with this, that the Hebrews would not meddle with any other country, but were to be contented with the possessions of the land of Canaan. Yahweh had forbidden them to go any further. So he, with more haste than wisdom, resolved to make an attempt upon them by words. But he did not judge it prudent to fight against them, after they had such prosperous success, and even became out of ill successes more happy than before. But he thought to hinder them, if he could, from growing greater. And so he resolved to send ambassadors to the Midianites about them. Now these Midianites, knowing there was one Balaam who lived by Euphrates, and was the greatest of the prophets at that time.
What was he?
The greatest of the prophets at that time.
Yo, this is David Blaine and Chris Haynes. Y'all see how he still got weight round town? Balaam, the greatest prophet. Go ahead.
And one that was in friendship with them sent some of their honorable princes along with the ambassadors of Balaam to entreat the prophet to come to them, that he might imprecate curses to the destruction of the Israelites. So Balaam received the ambassadors and treated them very kindly. And when he had supped, he inquired what was Yahweh's will, and what this matter was for which the Midianites entreated him to come to them. But when Yahweh opposed his going, he came to the ambassadors and told them that he was himself very willing and desirous to comply with their request, but informed them that Yahweh was opposite to his intentions. Even that Yahweh, who had raised him to great reputation on account of the truth of his predictions, for that this army, which they entreated him to come and curse, was in the favor of Yahweh, on which account he advised them to go home again, and not to perish in their enmity against the Israelites. And when he had given them that answer, he dismissed the ambassadors. Now the Midianites, at the earnest request and fervent entreaties of Balaam, sent other ambassadors to Balaam, who, desiring to gratify the men, inquired again of Yahweh. But he was displeased at this second trial, and bid them by no means to contradict the ambassadors. Now Balaam did not imagine that Yahweh gave this injunction in order to deceive him. So he went along with the ambassadors. But when the divine angel met him in the way, when he was in this narrow passage and hedged in with a wall on both sides, the ass on which Balaam rode understood that it was a divine spirit that met him, and thrust Balaam to the one of the walls, without regard to the stripes which Balaam, when he was hurt by the wall, gave her. But when the ass, upon the angels continuing to distress her, and upon the stripes which were given her fall down by the will of Yahweh, she made use of the voice of a man, and complained of Balaam as acting unjustly to her, and that whereas he had no fault to find with her in her former service to him, he now inflicted stripes upon her, as not understanding that she was hindered from serving him in what he was now going about by the providence of Yahweh. And when he was disturbed by reason of the voice of the ass, which was that of a man, the angel plainly appeared to him, and blamed him for the stripes he had given his ass, and informed him that the brute creature was not in fault, but that he himself was come to obstruct his journey, as being contrary to the will of Yahweh. Upon which Balaam was afraid, and was preparing to return back again. Yet did Yahweh excite him to go on his intended journey, but added this injunction, that he should declare nothing but what he himself should suggest in his mind. When Yahweh had given him this charge, he came to Balaam, and when the king had entertained him in a magnificent manner.
What kind of manner?
Magnificent manner.
Setting it out, y'all, we call it.
He desired him to go to one of the mountains to take a view of the state of the camp of the Hebrews. Balaam himself also came to the mountain, and brought the prophet along with him, with royal attendants. This mountain lay over their heads, and was distant 60 furlongs from the camp. Now when he saw them, he desired the king to build him seven altars, and to bring him as many bulls and rams, to which desire the king did presently conform. He then slew the sacrifices and offered them as burnt offerings, that he might observe some signal of the flight of the Hebrews. Then said he, happy is this people, on whom Yahweh bestows the possession of innumerable good things, and grants them his own providence to be their assistant and their God.
Hold it right there, Elijah. Y'all read all the rest of that, but for time's sake, because we only got a few minutes, you need to jump down to chapter 6. And this going to explain when, he's going through, he's telling, look, man, I can't curse him. You can offer me all the money in the world. It ain't going to work. Enough money ain't going to be enough because I can't pronounce curses on them. We have to find their Achilles tendon. We have to find the problem that caused it. What do you call Superman when you find this part? Kryptonite. Here's the kryptonite for these brothers. So it picks back up at 6th chapter. Y'all read all of that. But you're getting the history of what's going on in Numbers 22 through 25. But pick it up at 6. What verse you going in there?
Verse 6?
Yeah, chapter 6, verse 126. I take it.
126.
You got it.
But Balak, being very angry that the Israelites were not cursed.
Not what?
Not cursed, sent away Balaam without thinking him worthy of any honor. Whereupon, when he was just upon his journey, in order to pass the Euphrates, he sent for Balak and for the princes of the Midianites, and spake thus to them, O Balak, and you Midianites that are here present, for I am obliged even without the will of Yahweh to gratify you. It is true, no entire destruction can seize upon the nation of the Hebrews.
No what?
No
entire
destruction can seize upon the nation of the Hebrews.
So you understand when Deuteronomy 28 saying they should be destroyed is never holy. Basically, our power head will be destroyed. Our kingdom will be destroyed. And when you ain't got no kingdom, you serve another people. It don't mean you're completely wiped out as a people. But when he say, I will destroy you, I'm taking the head away from you. You ready to be the tail now. But like I said, nothing that they can put on us can destroy us wholly. Y'all see they put Tuskegee experiment on us? Y'all say they put this on us, they put that on us, they put the vaccine on us. But we ain't gonna never be destroyed, y'all. We ain't going away. We like roaches to them.
Let me finish this out. Let me finish this out. It is true, no entire destruction can seize upon the nation of the Hebrews, neither by war, nor by plague, nor by scarcity of fruits of the earth. Nor can any other unexpected accident be their entire ruin. For the providence of Yahweh is concerned to preserve them from such a misfortune. Nor will it permit any such calamity to come upon them whereby they may all perish. But some small misfortunes, and those for a short time, whereby they may appear to be brought low, may still befall them. But after that, they will flourish again, to the terror of those that brought those mischiefs upon them. So that if you have a mind to gain a victory over them for a short space of time, you will obtain it by following my directions. Do you therefore set out the handsomest of such of your daughters?
Of your what?
Of your daughters. As are most eminent for beauty.
See, send out your baddest heifers. We want the baddest.
Yeah,
you know, anything less than J-Lo out of this group, we don't want them. Anything less than this one out of that group, we don't want them. We want the finest Chinese. We want the best you got. Send your flamers up here. Send the tops. We want your Thelmas of good times in 71. Send all of them. So you get the mindset, y'all. You know what I'm saying?
You had the prime year.
Yeah, go ahead. Before she met eBay. Go ahead.
Yeah, that Hamite.
Yeah, go ahead.
And proper to force and conquer the modest of those that behold them. And these decked and trimmed to the highest degree you are able.
Y'all see what they say? Put them in them tight jeans. Yeah.
Them Daisy Dukes.
Yes, sir. Let breasts be shown. Go ahead.
Then do you send them to be near the Israelites' camp and give them in charge that when the young men of the Hebrews desire their company, they allow it them. And when they see it, and when they see that they are enamored of them, let them take their leaves. And if they entreat them to stay, let them not give their consent till they have persuaded them to leave off their obedience to their own laws.
To their own what?
Laws and the worship of that God who established them, and to worship the gods of the Midianites and Moabites. For by this means Yahweh will be angry at them. Accordingly, when Balaam had suggested this counsel to them, he went his way.
See, so he told them how to get them. Make sure they find now all the best club clothes. Make sure they didn't check their rear end before they left. Look in the mirror before they left. We need all of that. You need the best ones to come out there half naked.
Because they want multiple wives.
Yeah, and see, and you hear that Balaam doctrine when you hear it from these youngsters. That's the first thing they do. They come in and then they fall for the trap. They dressed up to snap and they fall for the trap. And the next thing they say, she's a wicked woman. But then you go back and do it again, and you go back and do it again, and you go back and do it again, and you got 10 wicked women on your list because you chasing Baal Peor. You just going after the outer cup of the individual woman. You ain't looking at inner side. You just Baal Peor. You just a hooga. Them Israelites, and they went after them young Israelite soldiers, the ones who want to fight. They took the fight out of them. You can't fight no more after 2 or 20 minutes. Go ahead, bro.
You want me to keep reading?
Yeah.
Okay.
You may have to, you need to skip down or he good. Yeah, just read 7 through 8, that ought to get it.
Okay. So when the Midianites had sent their daughters, as Balaam had exhorted them, the Hebrew young men were allured by their beauty.
What were they
allured, and came to discourse with them, and besought them not to grudge them the enjoyment of their beauty, nor to deny them their conversation.
See that? Come on, baby. Come on, you know I'm Hebrew now, don't you? You know I'm Hebrew. Come on now. What it look like? A Midianite with a Hebrew player? Come on now. And then they trying to rap their way through. But they like, no, we done heard that smooth game of you Hebrews. We need you to acknowledge our God, and then you get all you desire. Go ahead, read some more life.
These daughters of the Midianites received their words gladly, and consented to them, and stayed with them. But when they had brought them to the enamored of them, to be enamored of them, and their inclinations to them were drawn to rightness, they began to think of departing from them. Then it was that these men became greatly disconsolate at the woman's departure, and they were urgent with them not to leave them, but begged they would continue there, and became their wives. And they promised them that they should be owned as mistresses of all they had. This they said with an oath.
See, they promising false promises. Look here, you get me, you know, see, my dad is such and such. I'll set it out for you. I get your hair done every week, your nails done, all of that for me. You hear what I'm saying? See, because I'm a player like that. We the Hebrews.
Baby, you can have the top of the
And
word.
she said, you can talk all that noise you want, but I need a commitment more than what you're talking about. They like, we don't need to go shopping. I need you to shop for this God we talking about. You need all that stuff. What else to say?
This they said with an oath, and called Yahweh for the arbitrator of what they promised. And this with tears in their eyes and all other such marks of concern as might show how miserable they thought themselves without them, and so might move their compassion for them. So the women, as soon as they perceived they had made them their slaves.
What they make them?
Their slaves. And had caught them with their conversation, began to speak thus to them. O you illustrious young men.
All you players of Israel.
We have houses of our own at home.
You see what they say? We don't need your paper.
And great plenty of good things there, together with the natural affectionate love of our parents and friends. Nor is it out of our want of any such things that we came to discourse with you. Nor did we admit of your invitation with design to prostitute the beauty of our bodies.
For gain. They make no war out of us.
But taking you for brave and worthy men, we agreed to your request, that we might treat you with such honors as hospitality required. And now seeing you say that you have a great affection for us and are troubled when you think we are departing, we are not averse to your entreaties. And if we may receive such assurance of your goodwill as we think can be alone sufficient, we would be glad to lead our lives with you as your wives. But we are afraid that you will in time be weary of our company and will then abuse us.
Yeah, look, get out of here, wicked woman. Get out of here. They're like, no, we ain't giving up the goods like that.
And abuse us and send us back to our parents after an ignominious manner. And so they desired that they would excuse them in their guarding against that danger. But the young men professed they would give them any assurance they should desire. Nor did they at all contradict what they had requested. So great was the passion they had for them. If then, said they, this be your resolution, since you make use of fervent from all other men, insomuch that your kinds of food are peculiar to yourselves, and your kinds of drink not common to others, it will be absolutely necessary if you would have us for your wives, that you do withal worship our God. Nor can there be any other demonstration of the kindness which you say you already have, and that promise to have hereafter to us, than this, that you worship the same gods that we do. For has anyone reason to complain that now you are come into this country, you should worship the proper gods of the same country, especially while our gods are common to all men, and yours such as belonging to nobody else but yourselves. So they said that they must either come into such methods of divine worship as all others came into, or else they must look out for another world, wherein they may live by themselves according to their own law. Now the young men were induced by the fondness they had for these women to think that
what they say, don't leave me, girl.
You sound like temple prostitutes.
Look, boy.
If you take your love away from me, I'll go crazy.
Right.
So check it out. Now the young men were induced by the fondness that they had for these women to think they spake very well. So they gave themselves up to what they persuaded them, and transgressed their own law.
What did they transgress?
Their own law.
The Bible's tampered with. Don't y'all believe no more of that? We doing this all for women. That's all it's for. That's all you see the goal is, because that's all they telling you your reward is. That's the only videos you see is just this. This video of, see what I got y'all? There's nothing else. It ain't no building. It's just extra women and saying the Bible has been tampered with now, and we making up our own rules at this point. We ain't dealing with them laws no more, because she does something for me.
And that's what that whole thing about the sect of the Nazarenes is. We're going to make up our own law. We're going to do it the way we see fit, because we don't agree with the law, statutes, and judgments of Yahweh, or the way that the common Israelites abide in his grace. So we're going to make up our own sect. And that's why it's the sect of the Nazarenes. They're set apart from the real deal. These are vagabond Israelites.
Go ahead, Elisha. Go ahead, finish that up, Elisha. So we'll tell y'all get into the rest of that 12th chapter, though, but go ahead, Elisha.
It says, now the young men were induced by the fondness they had for these women to think they spake very well. So they gave themselves up to what they persuaded, and transgressed their own laws, and supposing there were many gods, and resolving that they would sacrifice to them according to the laws of that country, which ordained them. They both were delighted with their strange food, and went on to do everything that the woman would have them do.
See, now they're in delight with their strange food. They didn't change the diet. The law, does this sound familiar?
Yeah, very familiar.
Change the law. We eating a new diet. It's strange food we eat now. Go ahead, brother.
And went on to do everything that the woman would have them do, though in contradiction to their own law, so far indeed that this transgression was already gone through the whole army of the young men.
Through the whole army of the young what?
Young men.
Young men got pulled away for this foolishness. And the whole army of them.
The whole army.
All you got left for some punch. Go ahead.
And they fell into a sedition that was much worse than the former, and into danger of the entire abolition of their own institution. For when once the youth had tasted of these strange customs, they went with insatiable inclinations into them. And even were some of them principal men were illustrious on account of the virtues of their fathers. They also were corrupted together with the rest.
See, and now when y'all get into, y'all read chapter 10 through 12, and you see Zimri. And this was a son of Simeon. Zimri was so ate up that he was using his father's name. He like, man, I don't want to hear that what Moses is talking about. He married to a Midianite. But Zipporah kept the laws of our God. She never said, do the laws of our gods. She said, I'll worship your God. I'll change everything I need to do Zimri, Simeon's son, said, I don't want to hear that. And you know what he did? He took one of them women and paraded her before the whole crowd like this and walked in his tent, and it was rustling. You knew what was taking place in there. And Aaron's son, Phineas, his grandson, saw that. He like, this Negro losing his mind. He gonna go rattle sheets in front of the whole congregation and tell me, I don't want to hear what you got to say, Moses. Oh, nigga, go on with that. Man, Phineas got that spirit, and while they was in full hunting mode, he went through there and stirred the spirit through both of them.
At the same, it was like a what do you call it?
Jazz.
Shish kebab.
Yeah, that's what it was like. Yeah. Stab both of them. Y'all get into Zimri, y'all, and y'all see how wicked he was, and this was the son of Simeon. But Phineas say, he going crazy, he just gonna disrespect us like that. Phineas said, I don't want to hear that.
Well, I don't want to hear
Moses, you got a Midianite woman, but never talked about how his Midianite woman loved the Lord, our God, because she circumcised Gershon. That tells you how much she loved our God. She saved Moses' life.
Right.
The one Zimri is with, is finna get his life took.
Because he was basically pushing do with our will.
That's what he was pushing. Man, because when you get into it, he gonna tell you, he like, man, we don't care about them laws. Look, it's our right to do what we want to do. If we choose to do this, we can do it. They want to hear them laws of the God of Israel. My heifer's God is chief round earth.
See how fine she is?
Right.
Y'all, and that's what it is, y'all. And you can tell that doctrine of Baal people that'll come over the young men. And take them out, and your soldiers are gone, chasing tail.
And see, you notice it's the young men who hadn't experienced life. Right. They have no experience.
Yeah.
So they lusted. They just gone wild. They like wild bulls at the top of the street.
And look, and the lady said, we know what y'all up to. Y'all just talking a good game. Y'all got them sunflower seeds and penny seeds. Y'all trying to lure in. She say that ain't responsibility. We got houses. We don't need them dead promises. We got our own paper. What we need you to do is worship our God. That's the promise we need before we get undressed. Now, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? And they say, we show you what we're gonna do. Oh, right now. And man, talk the Most High laws like they was child's play, y'all. And say we don't even care about, and change the diet. Sound familiar, y'all? What else you got in that turn?
That was it. Yep, that was it. All praise to the Most High.
But y'all get into the rest of that Zimri, read that 10th, 11th, and 12th chapter, and y'all gonna see what the sons of Israel, it's the mindset when they want to do what they want to do. Y'all, this is about obedience, not sacrifice. But Zimri was crazy, y'all, and Phineas couldn't take it no more.
Right. And see, you also see that, you know, when we talk about the fringes, the God gathering the sticks right after the law was given.
Yeah.
You go into Jeremiah, it was talking about they were gathering sticks to worship, to make cakes for the Queen of Heaven.
Yeah.
So he was directly defiling the commandment the day after. Saying, man, regardless of what y'all talking about, I still love the Queen of Heaven. I'm finna go gather these sticks, and me and my wife finna do what we've been doing.
Yeah.
Worship this pagan God.
Right.
Because our God ain't talking to us.
Yeah. Moses
y'all believing in something y'all don't see.
Yeah. All of that. We going back to Egypt.
We going back.
Well, we can see God.
See, the Most High didn't have to go all the way into details. You have to read the script.
Yeah.
To see what he was gathering sticks for. It wasn't just gathering sticks.
Right.
And he was disobedient. No, he had a purpose behind gathering sticks. It was to perform a purpose and a ritual. That's why. That's why fringes came into play. Because it was a direct what do you call it? Insubordination.
Right.
Yeah. I told you not to do this. And the next day he went out and did it anyway. Did. So like, boy, Most High like, boy, y'all wild as I don't know what. I just talked to you. It's like my parents used to tell me, the more I talk to you, the crazier you get.
Yeah. Boy, ain't like this. Well, what's wrong with you? That's what they be looking at you.
What the hell is wrong with you, boy? I just told you, and you went out. Why'd you do it?
Well, I don't know.
You don't know. Not only did you just do it, you don't even know why you did it. From experience. Experience will teach you.
All right, man, all right.
Good work, y'all.
Excellent job.
Hope you have a good feast today, y'all. Yes, sir. Got filled up on that one. Y'all, and the reason, y'all, why we have to read it like it is because we have children in here, and the devil don't play fair. He's coming after the children. And if the children have your heart, you'll find yourself saying, it's just for the babies on trick or treat. The pastor says, okay, he letting people pull in the church parking lot and open his trunk and they can get candy out of there. And then they won't get any of that buttock scotch from the oven. See, that's what is they so wicked that they'll unwrap a butterscotch and wrap it all between their buttocks and wrap it back up. Now it ain't butterscotch no more. It's buttock scotch. And when they eat it, and they be saying, my stomach hurt. My stomach, I know it do hurt.
You ain't smell like me.
Go ahead.
It's supposed to be gold, not brown.
Yeah. Once you had that ass. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. All right, family. We're going to get this closed in prayer.
Yes, sir.
And in the name of his only begotten and beloved Son, our Lord and Savior, Yahushua Mashiach, better known as Jesus the Christ, y'all. Long live the King.
Long live the King!
Reading in the book of Psalms, in the 36th chapter, it reads, the transgression of the wicked saith within my heart, that there is no fear of Yah before his eyes. For he flattereth himself in his own eyes, until his iniquity be found to be hateful. The words of his mouth are iniquity and deceit. He hath left off to be wise and to do good. He deviseth mischief upon his bed. He setteth himself in a way that is not good. He abhorreth not evil. The mercy, thy mercy, O Yahweh, is in the heavens, and thy faithfulness reacheth unto the clouds. Thy righteousness is like the great mountains. Thy judgments are a great deep. O Master, thou preservest man and beast. How excellent is thy loving kindness, O Yah.
Yes, sir.
Therefore the children of men put their trust under the shadow of thy wings.
Yes, sir.
They shall abundantly be satisfied with the fatness of thy house.
Yeah.
And thou shalt make them drink of the river of thy pleasure. For with thee is the fountain of life.
Yes, sir.
In thy light shall we see light. O continue thy loving kindness unto them that know thee, and thy righteousness to the upright in heart. Let not the foot of pride come against me, and let not the hand of the wicked remove me. There are the workers of iniquity fallen. They are cast down and shall not be able to rise.
Hallelujah! Say life!
Y'all got a shekel or two, y'all would greatly appreciate it. Want to thank the worldwide audience for all y'all do. Shouts out to G. Montgomery up there in Georgetown. Shouts out to all y'all, Sister Stacy, all y'all, Sister Neek and them. Shouts out to y'all. Shouts out to my big brother and sister over in the Holy Land, Brother Akda and Sister Yisrael. Shouts out to y'all. Shouts out to all Israel. One love, y'all.
All praise.